The following is a world-class Bullshitters exclusive.
Folks, welcome into Primetime Live here on Tuesday night, only on World Class Bullshitters. I'm your host, Jeff Hicks, and with me tonight, one of my co-hosts for right now. Our other two are in transit. But folks, you know him, you love him, all the way from the Rippaverse. Say hello to Andy Andrew.
What's going on, Jeff? What's going on, chat? It is great to be back. We're going to have a fun show with you guys tonight. And I say with you guys because you guys are part of the show. You're part of the process. You're part of the celebration. That's what these shows are meant to be. Thank you for being here and hanging out with us.
You're damn right. And folks, I'm happy to be here with you too. Now, we're starting off a little late because we're waiting on our guests, but also I found out something interesting right before I went on air.
Yeah, you did.
Do you remember the Sham Wow guy? Do you remember him, Andrew?
I do, actually. And in fact, I can hear the commercials in my head, just like I can hear like Billy Mays, the OxyClean guy. And there was a funny post on social media today where I guess his son posted a photo of like somebody had left a bottle of OxyClean at his dad's grave. And his dad's grave was all like polished and everything.
I mean, that makes me happy and smile on the inside. I mean, if I was going to die and be known for something, I'd want it to be positive like OxyClean. But no, I bring up the ShamWow guy not because we're excited to talk about late night television products from the early 2000s or to have a versus battle who was better, Billy Mays or the ShamWow guy Vince Shlomi. No, it turns out that the ShamWow guy could be accidental, could not be, but he's ripped me off and he's trying to steal Wokebusters. Yeah, that's not a joke.
How
folks.
dare!
I got tagged in a post over on Instagram, and what do I see? His candy ass rolling around in a jumpsuit, calling himself Wokebusters, spraying people in the face. I was like, hold on a second.
Now wait just a fluffing minute.
Yeah, last time I checked, I came up with that shit years ago, and our audience can understand or can attest to that because we had a lot of wonderful people back it, and it finally was released this year. But yeah, the offer Shlomi, aka Vince the ShamWow guy, has got he's trying to rip off Wokebusters. So I think what we're gonna have to do is start talking about this on the channel. Let's fight his plagiarism with a sales copy of Wokebusters. So folks, go to wokebusterscomic.com, or if you find his Instagram post, say that the World Class Bullshitters did it first, because, well, we did.
Yeah, that is your word.
Of all people to have to think that's ripping you off as the ShamWow guy.
Right? That's, man, not clean. Not clean. Honestly, like, that's, I'm trying to think of a way to say this because the fact of the matter is it's a catchy word, right? But even though the word makes complete sense and seems like super organic, you're the first person I ever heard say it.
That's
when
why
you were
I
first
did
promoting your book
right away, because I was like, wait a second, I know people are going to try to rip this shit off because it's catchy and will try to co-opt it. So I was like, let's just make a comic book about it. That way, not only did I design the logo and have the name, I have the story too. So yes, Matt, remember that I'm going to start having to call my shit the real Wokebusters now, just like the Ghostbusters cartoon. That's what we're going to have to rephrase it to. The real Wokebusters.
No, absolutely. And it's not like this is a word where it's a common use thing or a scientific term into where it's like, no, this is explicitly in relation to a specific thing. It's your thing. Not cool, man. Whether it was intentional or unintentional, not cool.
No, Well, we're gonna have some fun with it. I'll make a call out video on the ShamWow guy. I never thought in a million years. I never done a call out video. People were like, "Are you gonna call out Mundane Matt?" No. Are you gonna call out so and so? No. Are you gonna call out Vince from ShamWow? Yes. So, folks, join me this week for a journey that I never thought I'd go down. And if you enjoy our most recent videos, I'm gonna format it just like that. So,
You really upped the production quality on the videos.
thank you. I have a new lease on life, so I like doing this shit.
I respect it.
But you know what, though? The audience is here for many other things. They're not here to hear us talk about a Z-list celebrity. What a devastatingly handsome man.
Z-list, man. Z-list.
All right, so we have a word of the day from our friend Shrebbles08, who says, the word of the day is fun size. Fun size Hobbit. Fun size Wizard of Oz. How Stella got her fun size back. Fun size Horizon. Fistful of fun size candy. And fun size Back to the Future.
You actually stole the first one that I was going to do, which was Fun Size Horizon, actually. Mainly because I was scrolling on YouTube earlier today or late last night while I was trying to fall asleep, which is not conducive to actually falling asleep, mind you. And I came across a video that was like talking about like some deleted stuff or something like that from Event Horizon. I didn't wind up clicking on it, but I was like, oh, that's interesting that came across my feed because I don't really watch horror stuff for the most part. But Nightmare on Fun Size Street.
Fun size the 13th Jason Lives.
I've still yet to see a Friday the 13th with Jason in it.
So you just saw the original, right?
I literally have only seen the original.
So it is my guilty pleasure. Okay, I don't really take pleasure. I just watch them because they're fucking trash. But they're 2, 4, and 6 are worth your time, even though you're not a horror guy, because you should at least know, like, if you watch part 2, you're like, oh, this is where all the slasher tropes come from about the kids at camp and they run away and they're busy having sex and they die. Like, I know people say, well, the first one had it. Yeah, the first one's a little different. It's more of a whodunit murder mystery. This is number 2 is more of a straight up slasher. Script Doctor, what is up?
Hey, gentlemen. Sorry for my tardiness. I just wrapped out a meeting, but happy to be here with all you fine folks out there in the chat. And, of course, you wonderful guys here on the panel.
We're happy to have you. We were just talking about how the ShamWow guy has ripped off Wokebuster and he's trying to take it as his own.
What?
Yeah, he's got a video.
That was my reaction.
Wokebuster's parody. I'm like, really? The fucking ShamWow guy?
the guy who also did like the slap chop?
Yeah, you're gonna love his nuts.
Yeah. Was he also like arrested for beating like domestic abuse or something? And he has a headshot.
He bit like a hooker's. A hooker bit his tongue and then he punched her. I think is the story.
Oh shoot!
Well, I would say you are ripe for a sequel of Wokebusters with regards like franchise impediment.
So that means
I would never do
to...
more Wokebusters shit. Now I might have to just. Be
Here's
like,
the thing. Here's the thing. If you do a parody of it now, you can do it real tongue in cheek, and instead of them having the packs, they just go around with spray bottles. Maybe some of them, dual wield, right? And now it's whatever, cleaning up the city or something like that. That's a stupid catchphrase, but you come up with something better because you're a better writer than I am. But like, do something that's like super on the nose like that. That's kind of a.
No, I mean it'd be a good follow up to Wokebusters because what's one of the woke aspects? Well, you take something that's beloved, you steal it and change it to fit your own ideology, making it absolutely worse. So there's your concept for a follow up.
There we go.
Start taking notes, Jeff.
I had an idea for Wokebusters go to Washington, but it might have to be something a little different now.
Wokebusters go to court.
Wokebusters go to court. That's the whole joke. That's the book.
Yes.
It'll literally just be like what we're gonna send him is the cease and desist letter in comic book form.
Yeah. Wow.
That would almost be a waste of time, but it'd be hilarious.
I mean, you could definitely parody the court scene in Ghostbusters 2 as well. Like one of the guys is just leading the attorney because that's what Bill Murray's character Peter Venkman's doing. He's feeding Louis Tully the questions and the answers.
I love that movie. I love that scene. I like that movie.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I need to have you guys on my we'll have like a creative side group just to
The round table.
stick
Yeah,
it
yeah.
to the sham. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
round table for the ShamWow guy.
That'd be great. I'm here for it, man. I am all here for it.
I just can't believe it's fucking real. That's all.
That's kind of one of those things where like I heard the surprise in your voice. The surprise in your voice was palpable. You were like, it was the most like the words were the ShamWow guy is trying to rip off Wokebusters. The tone was what the fuck?
That guy's still around? Like,
Yeah.
That
I
was
thought he had,
remarkable.
I thought that hooker punched him out of existence, but oh well.
I haven't heard of him in ages. Granted, I don't watch TV anymore, but that aside, I haven't heard even just the word ShamWow dropped in forever. Right? People don't meme that like they meme Billy Mays and OxyClean, right? Like, it's not the same thing.
didn't Billy Mays also do like the paint stick or something too?
I don't remember.
All I know is that he died the day before Michael Jackson did.
Yeah, and
So it was like a
Farrah
bi-
Fawcett the day after.
Yeah, it was a weird window of time.
Uh-huh.
Some of us call that the holy trinity of weird entertainment.
Well, he died the same way that Liam
He lived.
Neeson's wife did, right?
And you mean in a skiing accident?
Am I misremembering his death then?
Yeah, Liam Neeson. Liam Neeson's wife. Yeah, she hit her head while she was skiing, and then led to damage that caused. her to
Okay,
pass away.
for some reason I forgot that it was specifically skiing where she hit her head, but I knew that she had hit her head, and that's what ultimately resulted in.
Yeah,
And-
I knew it was skiing because she was shooting a made-for-TV movie in a town I was working in, and I went by to see her and a whole bunch of other actors there, and then she had mentioned that she's excited to wrap up because it's been a long shoot and she wants to go skiing, and then a few weeks later you hear the horrible news that she sadly passed away.
Yeah.
And Andrew, for the record, Billy Mays' death was associated with cocaine usage. So
Still
was
head
it?
trauma, but different type.
Thought, oh, okay. For some reason, I thought he hit his head while he was on a plane or something like that, in turbulence or something.
no, Bob Saget hit his head and then decided to go to sleep and then died.
Yeah, that was horrible.
Wait, hold on. Did I miss that Bob Saget died?
Yeah, like
yes,
2 years ago.
Yeah. Okay, I can understand you not having seen all the Friday the 13th or no
How did I miss
intricacies
this?
of Michael Myers' mask, but like Bob Saget, the dad of a jet, you didn't realize that Danny Tanner had died.
I mean, he wasn't my favorite. I was an Uncle Jesse guy. But still.
I like to stand up far more than Full House.
Yeah.
Oh, his stand-up was hilarious, but raunchy as hell too.
I gotta take
but he was a
timestamp for
funny
this.
guy.
Andrew didn't know Bob Saget.
Andrew didn't know that Bob Saget died. Either that or he forgot. I feel like that's something we would have covered on High Council.
We did years ago.
Yeah, I think we did cover it.
So yeah, if it was
Dude.
2 years ago, I would have been here.
Buddy,
So
that's
I guess
why
I just forgot.
if I go into the archives, hold on, it might drop somebody out here. We have Bob Saget buttons here on the channel, man.
Wow. You know,
Oh, Bob Saget! Oh, Bob Saget! Oh, shit!
I'm gonna chalk that one up to just forgetting and being busy. I'm gonna. That's the best I got.
Enrique sent to the super chat, breaking news, Bob Saget died.
I'd say F you, Enrique, but you sent me a pretty cool T-Rex toy. So.
Bob Saget,
Andrew.
breaking news. Bob Saget died in 2022.
Yeah, I have some bad news. A lot of other people have died recently.
Afraid I've
Gene
got
Hackman.
some bad news.
David Bowie just died. Eddie Van Halen's
knew
been
that.
dead for a minute.
I knew that.
Neil
that.
Peart passed away.
Thank you. So clearly, this is going to be a thing now. Every week, Jeff and Script, and probably Aaron. I'm sure he's a jerk, so I'm sure he'll jump in on the joke.
Princess
Y'all-
Diana has passed away too, Andrew. I'm sorry. I know she was the world's princess.
Yeah,
but
she was my
died.
first crush.
Yeah, we're 2 years shy of her 30th anniversary of her passing, Andrew. Just thought you
That's
might wanna
wild. Wow. The last 30 years just like passed me by.
Did you know that Ronald Reagan was someone attempted to shoot Ronald Reagan? Actually,
The actor?
yeah.
This is going away anytime soon.
I was in 1983.
Yeah.
The person loved Jodie Foster.
Was it Mark David Chapman, right? Or was that the guy that killed Lennon?
No. Wait. Yeah, the three named assassins. Those I get mixed up a lot personally. Also, it's weird. More recent assassins aren't getting the three name treatment. That's odd, don't you think?
It's a generational thing.
Well, I mean, they did the three names so that in the event that someone had a similar name, you'd know the distinction was not the same. That's why they added the middle name. But now we have a couple that are facing trial, and we're not getting their middle name to distinguish them from the other people who happen to be named, Luigi or what have you.
Luigi Mario Mangione. That's his full name. So
That's a hell of a name.
That's when Nintendo.
I bet Nintendo will probably sue him.
I wish that was his name for real.
I know, right?
I would just love for okay, I don't want anything bad to happen to anybody, but if somebody were to commit a crime, I want them to have the name Ronald McDonald or just some name that a company can't get away from.
Yeah, like Ronald.
The internet would never let that go.
No.
O.J.
Oh my God.
Simpson's wife died. Yes, I am aware. Thank you very much.
Wait, Nicole
Clonky.
Simpson died?
Oh my God!
happened
What
to
about
her?
her friend Ron Goldman? Is he okay?
I hope so. OJ will never recover after those tragic losses. They were so close to him.
Yeah, they're like family.
Man, y'all are assholes.
Let's see. What does Sly C in the chat said? Andrew did this to himself.
Yeah.
Folks, if you have any late breaking news for Andrew, be it somebody who passed away, or the World Trade Center's got hit by a plane, or women can vote now, let Andrew know.
Wait, hold on,
We
back
need to
up. There's
let Andrew-
what? Hold on. I feel like one of those was a little important. You kind of just flew past it.
Yeah, 9/11
Yeah,
will
women can
never
vote.
be
The
the same again.
World Trade Center's got hit by a plane. What was this?
It was October 15th, 1982. That's when it happened. It wasn't an important date
it's
or
before my time.
Oh, also, Cosmic Vader in the chat wanted to let you know that JFK died. So we raised the flag at half-mast for President Kennedy in 2025, Andrew.
Man, y'all are assholes.
Hold on, it gets better. First off, Shrebels,
no.
wait, we're going to press your Buffalo Jeff button in just a moment. We're going to use that to get us into the first segment where we talk about a celebrity who did pass away, and I wanted to give them the proper respect. We also have, we'll get to the Fuck, Marry, Kill in just a second, but Overkill161 says, breaking news! Author and playwright William Shakespeare still found dead. Also, Abe Vigoda has died. Ye old Bob Saget buttons. The one time I'm not on camera, I am sitting here cracking up.
You know what?
Tears
Y'all
in
are
my
welcome. Okay? Y'all are welcome. I just added years onto your life, Jeff. So you're welcome. Chat, for those of you who are laughing yourself silly at my expense, you're also welcome.
Andrew, we appreciate you. And
I am
here,
kind.
in honor of Overkill's request, we'll give you both Bob Sagets.
Oh, Bob Saget! Oh, Bob Saget! Oh, shit!
You know, there was a minute at time where people thought the Tourette's guy had died because he told everyone he died so people would leave him alone.
Oh.
Yeah.
So
That's how,
this new
you
bit,
don't-
Andrew is living life too busy to know who has died.
Man, I'll
Don't
be
tell me
real.
about-
Like, most
still alive?
celebrity. Last I checked, if I'm not, then this is a really weird afterlife dream. And I don't know
It's a great
why
way to
I'm
spend
sitting here.
eternity.
I don't know why I'm sitting here on YouTube in eternity.
This is.
But I guess I'm in
purgatory,
good company. This is purgatory. That now it makes more sense. It seems a lot more plausible now. I don't pay that much attention to celebrities, so like a lot of them will ultimately pass, and I either not hear about it or I'll hear about it in passing. I mean, it sucks for their family. I'm sorry to hear that, but it's not going to like have an effect or an impact on me beyond like very base level human empathy. Like, I'm sorry for the people who miss you.
Now you're just coming out sounding colder than the Terminator. Now, when Schwarzenegger dies, you better be ready to like
Oh yeah,
mourn him here on the show.
but here's the thing: I hope on his gravestone he has it engraved, "I'll be back." Like he's got to do it, man.
Yeah, I think that's like the perfect epitaph.
Yeah.
Right?
I'll be back or get to the chopper.
Get to the
Oh,
chopper. Do it. No.
I would like if you actually said, "Here lies Arnold Schwarzenegger. He got to the chopper. He'll be back," or something like. There's like every one of his quotes
Not
in
right.
context.
grab some of the like the best ones and kind of mishmash them.
There you go. Ant. The script, you're right. It wasn't a Tuma.
It wasn't a
It
team.
wasn't the two of them. Oh, that
was
would
the
be pretty
chopper.
funny. Oh
Yeah,
gosh.
it would be. Shrubbles says, "I'll take a Buffalo Jeff button." Well, it is that season, folks, and you know, during October, old Buffalo Jeff will appear to scare Mary Mayhem and Dion Greens alike.
Say his
So whatever
name
you
and he
do,
appears.
Don't go outside because Buffalo Jeff might get you.
Who's that Pokemon? It's
Me, your old pal Buffalo Jeff.
How about Buffalo Jeff's fun-sized funhouse? That just sounds really weird and creepy,
It
but I
does.
think we can make it work.
That, yeah, you know, is that the type of villain Buffalo Jeff is? That seems very Hollywood.
Buffalo Jeff is like nothing you've ever seen, Andrew. Hello, Mary. I'll see you soon.
Yeah, Buffalo Jeff's a weirdo, man. That's
Yeah.
why everybody requests him so much.
Oh,
He
my
also has
skin
wings,
crawl.
too. He tucks them, but you can tell.
He'll eat your skin if you're not careful, Andrew.
That's gross.
Well, duh. Would you expect him to be some bright, chipper guy?
No, clearly not.
That would be ironic. Yeah, it's just the creepiest voice, but he's the most Boy Scout person on the planet.
That would kind of be funny.
He actually helps you change your tire on the side of the road and drives you to your house. He's
Yep.
not creepy or weird at all.
when he opens up his jacket, it's to show you his merit badges, not anything else.
His merit badges.
Now, many people
Wow.
have pictures of his family. He's like, "Here's my Buffalo wife and my Buffalo kids. We're just having a good time at the ranch." Yeah.
Oh yeah, what do you
That'll
farm,
be,
people?
Next year, folks, for Halloween, we'll have Buffalo Jeff's Playhouse. It'll be a Pee Wee Herman take with a Buffalo Jeff
man.
angle.
That's gonna be the creepiest thing ever.
I mean, Pee Wee's Playhouse is pretty awesome. I don't know how you can make it creepy, though. I think it'll just be a lot of fun.
Yeah. I believe in you.
Well, thank you. Xavier to God, thank you very much. He says, "Fuck, marry, kill. The Tumbler, the Bat Pod, and the Bat." And then he also has Fuck, marry, kill, Dark Knight Trilogy voices, Batman, Bane, and the Joker. Also, do you guys like Bale's voice in Begins or no? Also, should Two-Face have been the villain in Rises? And first off, Xavier to God, thank you for being a member for 32 months. We got a lot of fun-sized titles coming your way later, too, folks. Don't worry. As soon as Aaron gets here. But I have answered these. So, fuck, marry, kill, the Tumbler, the Bat Pod, or the Bat. Andrew, go.
Tumblr, Bat Pod, and the Bats. Wow, he put in like 2 different FMKs in there. Look at you, Xavier to God, making use of that real estate. Man, that's tough because I don't actually like the Tumblr. I'm not a gigantic fan of the other 2 either, so it's kind of a toss-up. Go either way. Let's say kill Tumblr, F Bat Pod, married Bat.
Script?
Yeah, I would kill Tumblr. Yeah, marry the Bat Pod actually, because I mean, it's the most Batman-like of the three, really, because it's a bicycle, motorcycle essentially. Yeah, and the Bat, yeah, to heck with it. Yeah, they were just
And
blocked.
then what about the voices? You got Batman's voice, Bane's voice, and Joker's voice.
Bane is hysterical because it's funny. It's just it's Adam Sandler. That's what it is. Like he's doing Adam Sandler. Heath Ledger's Joker was creepy, so that'd probably be the Mary one, and the F1 for Bane, and then yeah, kill Bale's Batman voice. It was it was like strep throat talking Batman.
I didn't hate Bale's Batman voice, but the fact of the matter is I can't hear anybody else but Kevin Conroy.
Yeah.
Like when I read my Batman comics, whether they're new comics or old comics, I hear Kevin Conroy's voice because I spent so much of my childhood hearing his voice when I was seeing
It wasn't
Batman on
just
the
your
screen.
childhood. You still listen to his voice.
Damn right I do. I rewatched
Same
the
here.
old animated series last year. In fact, I need to do a rewatch of Beyond. That's what I'm gonna do.
I'm
Because
playing,
I'll still get
Arkham
to
right
hear.
now.
Oh, which one? Which one?
Just I have them all again, but I'm gonna play through them in order. So I'm replaying the first one, Asylum.
Okay, right on. That's such a good game. I haven't played those in a hot minute. Those are fantastic games. But as far as those voices for me, kill Bane, F Batman, marry Joker voice, I guess. Even though it's not what I associate with the Joker, that voice, just the performance itself was just phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
I just wish that the Batman voice wasn't comical because it takes me out of the movie. Not the Rachel, but the one part when he's like trying to have a talk about like how sometimes people can do something. He's like sometimes people. I'm just like, what are you trying to get at, dude? Like, break
He's
the
out of
illusion.
breath.
Yeah. It pissed me off when Batman had to take an adrenaline shot. I don't want to see Batman out of breath. Who is he? Us?
Yeah, he trained his body to physical peak. Sure, he was fat in the first half of Batman Begins because, he overdid it. But he slimmed down during production and became more leaner. Man, yeah, that voice. I mean, that voice mocked by many parody people. And then the Heath Ledger Joker, sadly, has been copied and been whittled down and almost diluted by so many people thinking that has to be the definitive version of him because it was just so fresh and different from what we've seen before.
I had a guy when I was doing
character, yeah.
When I was doing TV and film school, there was a guy who tried to reenact the "You want to know how I got these scars" scene, and man, let me tell you, it was not the business. It was not. It was not it. It was a miss. Sometimes just let Heath Ledger's Joker be Heath Ledger's Joker.
Yeah. When I go to cons, see, that's the thing. It's like when I see a Heath Ledger Joker cosplayer, they don't just cosplay. They're like the little berries and cream guy where they put on a show for you. It's like, you want to know how I got these scars? No, I don't. I just wanted to compliment you on the jacket that actually looks film accurate. And then they just want to like perform for you. It's like, I didn't ask. Thank you. But like, could you not? Because you're going to like, first off, you're taking up my time at a con, man. That's rare time. You know, you're trying to get from point A to point B, meet people, hang out. It's a good time. But I don't want a Joker one-man show. Unless you're Crispin Glover putting on a one-man show for me, I'm going to have to pass, my friend.
Or Tommy Wiseau.
Oh, shit. If Tommy Wiseau just started talking to me about anything, including taxes, I'd be like, yeah, tell me more, Tommy. And that would be it. I would literally listen to him read a phone book to me. Or do the count from Sesame Street. Anything. Tommy Wiseau would have my time. But not Heath Ledger Joker impersonators. Or Jared Leto himself.
Okay.
And Xavier to God... I don't think the Two-Face should have been the main villain of Dark Knight Rises because he died, and I think that was the right answer. The right decision. So we'll start talking about Tron Ares flopping, Drew Struzan's passing, and all sorts of other things, like how to spend $600 million on a movie that it's considered a flop to some people and a disappointment to everybody. Our friend Sly C, this is Sly, says, Andrew is giving off major Dr. Venture vibes. Love you! Oh, Enrique has more breaking news, Andrew. Gilbert Godfrey died. Did you know that?
Yes.
Are you sure? Because I heard you had this reaction.
No, bitch!
There we go. I broke script doctor just a little bit. There we are.
Okay, that was funny.
That was.
I wasn't ready for that one.
Are you ever actually ready for Gilbert Godfrey?
I'm about as ready for Gilbert Godfrey as I am for the Spanish Inquisition.
Oh.
Well, no one expects the Spanish Inquisition.
Exactly.
No. And let's talk about something no one expects passing away. So I know that's a terrible transition, but I wanted to talk about this because I'm an artist. This is important to me. And I wanted to give just a moment to a guy that shaped all of our film-going experiences here. No matter if you were a loyalist to Paramount Pictures, Universal, Fox, if you liked Spielberg, if you liked Zemeckis, if you liked Lucas, if you liked anybody, it didn't really matter because you grew up in a window of time where one man's brush, pen, whatever the tool he used, defined movie posters for multiple generations. Let's be honest. He's the greatest poster artist of all time, and he sadly passed away at age 78. So, folks, on the screen right now are just 3 images created by Drew Struzan. He did the Back to the Future posters. He didn't do Raiders. What you're thinking of as Raiders is a guy named Richard Amsel, and he's passed away too. But Drew Struzan did Temple of Doom, Last Crusade. He did all the Star Wars Special Edition. He did the prequels. He did all kinds of stuff. He's done work on E.T., The Goonies, Harry Potter. He is a poster artist's artist. Nobody has been able to top his work. Now, you may have different favorites like Bob Peak, but Drew Struzan is the greatest of all time. And
I was just say he's I think the most prolific.
Well, he's done stuff for John Carpenter, like Big Trouble in Little China, which is a fantastic poster and movie. Go watch it.
He did The Thing in one night. That poster was created in one night.
Mm-hmm.
Because he is the model for that. He's actually the model for a lot of stuff that people don't realize. Drew Struzan does model for his own artwork, which is awesome.
Yeah, because his wife took all the photos, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. There's tons of photographs of him in like Indiana Jones, makeshift Indiana Jones costumes, like in his driveway, trying to get the poses right. And that's awesome. I love that kind of stuff, to get to see how somebody works.
Mm-hmm.
What I want to know, guys, is what are some of your favorites of his? Because everybody's got a different favorite from Drew Struzan. So, if you're a movie guy, what can you come up with off the top of your head? Because Andrew, I know you and I were talking off air about Harry Potter.
I was gonna say, mine's pretty easy to guess here, honestly. As much as I also love his Star Wars work.
I mean, I liked his Back to the Future posters. Those are a lot of are great. I actually have his Empire Special Edition poster framed in my living room.
Oh, that's cool.
Which is pretty cool. Yeah, Big Trouble in Little China, The Thing. Trying to remember another one that is him and not one of the other people that kind of emulate his style. No, I think that's all I can think of off the top of my head right now.
The fact that you have the Empire one is cool.
Yeah.
Oh, or is it this specific one?
Mm-hmm.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it's that one there with the special edition and everything.
Yeah, because he wasn't doing Star Wars, and I think the first Star Wars poster he did was the re-release of A New Hope, which for the longest time I thought it was a 10-year anniversary re-release, but no, it's just the next year's re-release. But it looks like a carnival poster. That's his first Star Wars work. But, I mean, he's done everything. So, I mean, I got his A New Hope poster above my TV. I found a a stretched canvas print that has no text on it. So even though I don't love the special edition changes, I love the special edition poster. So Drew Struzan's artwork is all over everybody's collection.
Oh, he did Shawshank Redemption one. That's what one I was thinking of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Blade Runner. He did a different Blade Runner that got released later. He did one for The Green Mile. I mean, he's done tons and tons of stuff. He even did one. I think he did an after the fact episode 7 poster with some of the actors on it. So it is what it is, though, in terms of his quality work, meaning it can't be topped and hasn't been topped. So, folks in the chat, let's see if anybody has any favorite posters of his. He did some of the EU covers. Yeah, he did tons of books. Revenge of the Jedi was his first. Was it though? Because the Star Wars re-release, I was watching a poster restoration video, and I knew the poster was his, but they said it was from a 1-year anniversary re-release. I thought it was from 10 years, but either way, I'm getting nerdy on the air. We don't need that right now. We need to keep the show flowing. Enrique says, all right, we already read that one about Gilbert Gottfried passing away. Shrubbles White says, hey, Andrew, sadly the Iron Sheik died.
Oh, not cheeky, baby.
Yeah. He's going to
You
make
know
you
what?
humble now.
Wherever he is, I'm sure he's, breaking somebody's back, making them humble, and putting them in the camel clutch. Just like he did with that no good Hulk Hogan.
I was going to say, do you think he's like wrestling Hulk Hogan in the sky?
Uh-huh.
I'd like to imagine that.
I buy that. The originator of jabroni.
Yeah, he beat The Rock to it, so
It did. It's most iconic from The Rock, but he is the originator.
That is true. Now, let's transition on to another topic for the evening, folks. We like to talk about fails here on the internet because they're funny. And a lot of those fails are financial fails. And so, one article that popped up on the 13th, so that'd be yesterday as of this recording, talked about how a little movie that we've discussed once or twice here on the channel, The Rise of Skywalker, it was more expensive than we ever thought. Now, movies costing $100 million or nothing. $200 million, nothing. $250? Okay, now we're getting into Avengers territory. 3, 4, 500 million? Holy shit, we're going crazy. But what if I told you, and I'm just leading in because I'm sure you guys have already read this, what if I told you this film, The Rise of Skywalker, cost a whopping $600 million?
I would not be surprised.
That's a lot of zeros.
Forbes has talked about this yesterday. They put out an article that The Rise of Skywalker cost $600 million.
And this, ladies and gentlemen, is why J.J. Abrams is rarely working as a producer these days.
Well, I brought that up because last week we had this discussion about J.J. Abrams. We went pretty in depth. Mm-hmm. But it's like every week we keep getting another piece of information about why those movies weren't the hit that people like to say they were, that they were more expensive, that they caused more damage than good. Insert your complaint here. But I took it as a laughing moment for myself because every time they talk about Disney Star Wars movies, it's never a positive thing. It's never like, little boy laughed himself to cure from watching Star Wars Episode 8 or something. It's like, no, this movie was just prohibitively expensive, and the fans were pissed off. And then, last week we were also talking about how Indiana Jones lost a couple $100 million. Mm-hmm. At what point is it just is the Star Wars and Lucasfilm merchandising rights that lucrative that it doesn't matter if movies cost $1 billion? They're just going to make it back up with action figures and Lego sales?
Prior to The Last Jedi, that would have been true. Yes.
I was going to say, I could understand a company like Disney saying, you know what, we're going to spend a crap ton of money on this movie, and we're probably going to at best break even. However, this IP is a merchandising monster, and we'll make up for it with the merch. So essentially, the film is going to be a loss leader, right? But you have to have characters that excite people enough to want to buy the merch, right? That's why we're in 2025, and some of us who have long since written off Disney's Star Wars, we're still happy to grab some like really nice figures of characters that we do like from the older stuff, right? But that's not what these movies did. These movies did not move merch. Like, I would buy Force Awakens might have moved a little bit. Like, you might have gotten people who were like, all right, Kylo Ren looks kind of okay, right? To me, I'm just like, okay, it's discount Darth Vader / like Dollar General Revan. I'm good. I'll just stick with my Revan action figures.
Darth
But
Camus, yeah.
yeah, it's just I don't care. But you still had people that were holding out hope. But after that, like you said, Script, like after Last Jedi, the merch just Star Wars was no longer the merchandising giant that it used to be.
No, it wasn't. And I mean, that goes to a huge flaw with Disney.
Dark
in general.
Tantrum. I like that.
Yeah. I remember when that happened. There's a group of writers that I knew who I never really thought were very good. They thought that was an amazing scene because it's created unpredictability with the villain. I'm like, it does, but it also shows a weakness because if you have two stormtroopers that are able to just walk away while he's having a tantrum and not be caught up and executed as a result of that, then you've just circumvented your intention of making this guy kind of unhinged because he's not able to. He's just taking it out on a machine. He's not taking it out on his men. Where Vader straight up killed his subordinates, and he did it in such a passive, casual way that it was far more frightening than a child smashing things up with his lightsaber. But
it goes back for the last time.
It goes back to when it comes to a franchise like Star Wars or any franchise really. There's an old writer who also passed away, but this year, Andrew. So don't feel too
what? Really? Man.
His name is Ron Friedman.
Was that even 5 minutes?
He died in September. It's okay. Ron Friedman, he wrote a lot of children's cartoons, most notably like G.I. Joe. And in those times, it was from Hasbro and Mattel, like all the toy companies were saying, yeah, we're making half-hour cartoons of our action figures. Just do whatever you want to sell the stuff. And he said, well, the best way to sell it is if we tell a story and make a character out of these people, these action figures, these Transformers, these G.I. Joes, what have you. You have to make a character out of them. We can't just put them on screen and have them do stuff for the sake of doing stuff. Just pure up action. It has to have character. And Hasbro said, yeah, we don't care. And what ended up happening, they did G.I. Joe, the new line to coincide with the new line of action figures. Because again, G.I. Joe used to be the size of Barbie dolls back in the day before the cartoon show, before they became like the 4.5 or 6 inch figures. And that cartoon hit, sales went up. And that's when the people at Hasbro were like, oh, wait, hold on a second. Like, we just thought like a simple 30-minute cartoon show with the bare bones of anything would do the job, but we've seen sales rise exponentially since since the show premiered. And Rod Friedman and all of his other cohort said, well, yeah, because kids want to play with their action figures while they're watching the show. And we gave the show meaning so that they can have they can help form the relationship of the characters that they're going to buy.
Yeah, I used to play with my Ninja Turtles set when I was watching Ninja Turtles.
Disney has never done that or never approached any of their IPs, whether they are bought, whether they're public domain, in that same way.
Mm-hmm.
They just don't. They just throw it out there. This is the story. This is the thing we're doing. Buy the merch so you can relive it yourself. But most of those Disney cartoons, especially ones that are musically dependent, those songs saved those cartoons more than anything else.
Mm-hmm.
The stuff in between them is kind of lousy. Like, can anyone who's a huge Disney fan honestly quote lines from Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs that isn't lyrics to a song? Like, no, hi ho, hi ho.
Not for that one.
When
anyway.
the catchiest songs, you say hi ho, hi ho. Everybody knows. Oh, yep, that's Disney's Snow White from 1930 or 33. Yeah. Quoted anything else from that? Mirror, mirror on the wall. Well, that's also from the Brothers Grimm story, so it doesn't really count. So yeah, it's hard pressed. Like, Disney never had the foundation nor the approach to ever do something with Star Wars where they'd be like, okay, so even though George Lucas was horrible with dialogue, he knew that characters had to make some sort of connection with themselves so that they can make with each other so that they can make connections with the audience. The sequel trilogy is just vacuous all around, and that comes into the fact that they hired J.J. Abrams, who is the most superficial, surface level producer director in Hollywood, which is saying a lot. And he's the type of guy who knew the business well enough that he was able to throw a high price tag on it and collect a ton of money from that, because there is clips out there of Oscar Isaac talking about how he's on the set of The Rise of Skywalker, and he's like, yeah, so we're shooting in this desert, and JJ brought in these giant inflatable green screens because he says they're going to be putting a different desert in the background. And I don't understand why they're doing that, but he's the director. He's got tons of accolades to him, so I'm just going to let him do that. That was when that video was released, and that was released months before the movie came out. I had to start asking some of my buddies, like, did you see this video? What the heck is going on there? Why are they spending that much money? And then that's when they started telling me, yeah, the budget for The Rise of Skywalker is like a runaway freight train. Like, they don't know what's going on. It's crazy how much money they're spending on this thing. They're really expecting it to be like, back to like a $2 billion worldwide gross, like The Rise of Skywalker was. The Force Awakens was. And I was just rolling my eyes thinking, like, that's corporate abuse, because number one, it's not really Disney's money. It's mostly like film markets and movie theaters like AMC, Cineplex, Draft House, and
like you talk about all the time. There's a lot of pre-sales.
It's their money plus other investors' money, and they might be of the mentality, like, because again, since J.J. Abrams started making feature films, especially with the first Star Trek in 2009, this new practice of spend as much money up front so you can, because you're not going to see much of any residuals on the back end. And I think that's a direct response to Hollywood accounting, where some contracts are worded in such a way where you could have a hit movie and you're supposed to get 5 points on the back end on residuals, and they adjust those residuals based on the expense for new distribution models. And so your 5 points that you think should be, in the millions of dollars is now in the tens of thousands of dollars. And so you feel like you're ripped off. And so how do you circumvent that? Well, you take as much money up front as you can. You expense things that you hire your friends, you get kickbacks, you use your own form of Hollywood accounting so that you can take as much money at the front end, because the studio is going to screw you on the back. Mm-hmm. And there was two ways they did that. One, they did like gross points, which is the deal you want, which they still do Hollywood math to make it work in the studio's favor. And then there's net points, which you never want to do, which unfortunately Ed Solomon did with Men in Black. And he's never seen a dime of residuals from that, because that movie has not made any net profit according to Sony, because Sony can always justify an expense needed in order to distribute and sell and maintain the IP that can eat into any net gains. And so I think J.J. Abrams cracked the code as a producer and director back then, and just took advantage of Paramount, which led to their eventual destruction. Took advantage of Disney, which has been hurting them ever since.
I was going to say, because as much as I enjoy them, the Star Trek movies he didn't make any money either.
No, because they cost 3 times what they should have, but they still made this roughly the same amount consistently with all the previous other Star Trek films. So, like, Star Trek had almost a dollar amount that you could predict of what they'd take in globally at the box office. And if you spent between $30 and $55 million on production and marketing, you are always going to make a profit. That's why there's so many Star Trek movies, because that's how they did it. J.J. Abrams got in there. He's like, no, we're going to make Star Trek into Star Wars, so we're going to spend $200 million instead of $60 million. It's like, no, you're only going to make around $300 million gross at best. Why would you spend 2/3 of that?
Ouch.
Yeah. And that's one of the reasons why Warner Brothers never committed to any of his like when they signed him off to that $500 million deal. That deal was contingent on him getting his pitches greenlit, and the best he could do was a couple of small television productions, and which meant that Warner Brothers saved themselves most of that $500 million, because they didn't have to fork over any of that to him, because they rejected tons of his pitches. Like, the closest thing he got was that Ta-Nehisi Coates Superman movie, but Zaslav crushed that, because he's like, we're not doing that. It's stupid.
Maybe there is hope for Warner Brothers after all.
They're the only studio making hits right now.
Yeah, what was the deal? They were Paramount tried to buy them, but that got shut down, right?
Oh yeah. No Eyebrows Ellison wants to own Warner Brothers and Paramount. They sent I heard this on set today. They sent Warner Brothers an offer. Warner Brothers said no. I think the offer is like $21 a share, which it's better than the current share price of Warner Brothers stock, but Warner Brothers IP archive and network is worth way more than that. And also, I strongly suspect that Warner Brothers stock is being suppressed by the markets, because when you take a look at Warner's track record over the last 2.5 years, they've only had 2 bombs: Joker Folie à Deux and Furiosa, essentially financial bombs. Out of everything else, they've either made a ton of money, like Barbie, Minecraft movie, Sinners, or they performed very well, such as like Superman, and Wonka. And so no other studio has that record right now by comparison. Universal
That's right. Wonka was like, wow, how did this movie actually do this well?
Yeah, same thing with Dune 1 and Part 2. They did well.
Yeah.
Even though Dune Part 2 has a ending that's rather critically scrutinized, and fairly so, but they're doing well. There's you can't say the same for Universal. You can't say the same for Sony. You definitely can't say the same for Disney. Paramount should have had some hits, but they just did not track. Like Top Gun Maverick was the last big one that they had. And then their Mission Impossible series were solid, but they didn't make the waves that they were hoping. And even their Ninja Turtle stuff did financially well profit-wise, but that's kind of like a bought and paid for thing. So Paramount's not really into that. Skydance themselves, as a production company, is all over the board, because they produce stuff for Amazon that is not woke, but they produce stuff for Paramount that is woke. They produce stuff for Apple that isn't woke. So it's really all over the place on that. And like what I've said right now, like Warner Brothers should be the king of Hollywood right now, since 20th Century Fox no longer exists. Because those two would usually like exchange crowns, and Hollywood would be in really good standing, because Fox would make movies that would swing for the fences and be kind of crazy. Warner Brothers would make like really prestigious art films, because they took that from Paramount, which used to be able to do that up until the mid-90s. And Warner Brothers has been struggling for like 2 decades to get back, because Fox was taking the reign in the early 2000s before Disney purchased Marvel and Lucasfilm. And then as soon as Disney took that over, we all know what happened. Hollywood went crazy, because you'd never have a woman company, and sorry, Disney's a girls company, lead an industry. They're a great support system. They're the ones that they have a target demographic they know how to sell to, and that's their niche, and they should stick there. The moment that they expanded outward, what they tried to do is convert the market into what they know how to sell, as opposed to convert themselves into addressing the market. And as a result, between 2009 and 2023, we have had a very empty decade, where the only cultural impact was the MCU, and the negative cultural impact of the Star Wars sequels kind of really shook the industry to the point where we don't have any fresh new IP coming to the forefront. Even book adaptations are not making it into theaters the way that they used to. So,
well, there was that period in the 2010s where like it seemed like every popular YA novel was
like
getting
Maze Runner.
Yeah, you had Maze Runner, right? You had the Hunger Games stuff, right? Then there was Divergent, right? Divergent, which was basically just Hunger Games. They were all kind of the same like dystopian future type
Children,
of a young
Battle Royale thing. Yep.
Exactly. It was all their own take on Battle Royale is really what it was. And there were some fun ideas in each of them. I read the Susan Collins books, but like that there was that pocket of time where it seemed like Hollywood was trying to like play with pulling in some new stuff, even though it was funny, because like those 3 things we just mentioned were kind of all playing with the same idea.
It was, I mean, it was one part of the trend. I mean, the other part was like, forbidden romance, where like 50 Shades of Grey was type of that. They're trying to run parallels for that as also. Didn't help that Netflix, as a tech company, was kind of taking over and moving in their own direction for how we process media, and they've changed the entire digestive practice of people. Nobody wants the. Here's the thing: the convenience of being able to watch movies at home, pause them, rewind, what have you, still supersedes the most people's desire to go to a theater, because that communal experience, that energy that you get there, can easily be circumvented by like one or two people just being obnoxious in a theater and ruin the whole thing for everybody. And that's one of the deterrents that even when I talk to a couple of theater owners, like franchise owners here in like the GTA, or when I go out to Vancouver, they say the same thing. Like the worst thing that they have to deal with is send an usher out there to grab a guest that's throwing crap at the screen or making a commotion, and then knowing that they're probably going to have to refund about 30 to 50% of those tickets for another show later on. And there's nothing they can really do about it, because again, especially with the cell phones, there's nothing they can do, because again, those people, they come in, they're their customers, they want them to come back, and even the ones that are being obnoxious, they still need their dollars, so they have to take a bunch of crap that they otherwise shouldn't. And it also doesn't help that their expenses have gone up because they're trying to make the movie theater experience more luxurious than what an individual could do with their home theater. And furniture stores and electronic stores have gone all out with being able to give you, the average Joe, a really affordable home theater system. That if you were to take going to the movies every week between you and your spouse at current day prices for 2 years, what you spend, you could probably buy a pretty solid home theater system. And not have to spend any of that money, just spend a monthly subscription to a streaming service. Like how can you compete with that, especially in the current economy that we have, where it's not booming, it's kind of stalled.
Yeah, you can't. Like, I got no kind of communal experience out of watching Tron Ares last week. I went to a movie and had 3 other people in it. They were all much older than me, and it was kind of like a wet fart of an experience.
They probably all saw the original in theaters.
Yeah, because I sure as hell wasn't alive for the original Tron, even though I quite liked it.
Surprisingly, neither was I. And I still would like to see the original Tron in theaters.
Yeah, I didn't pick up the disc, I misspoke. I watched the Dolby Vision version over on Disney Plus, and I thought to myself, this looks great on streaming. I wonder how good it's going to look on disc.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, the point I was actually going to make wasn't to talk about picture quality. I wanted to say, though, that I'm finding that I may make special trips for certain movies in theaters because of the way they're either marketed or brand recognition. But if I don't enjoy those movies, what I find happening is either I'm harsher on them because I had to take so many extra steps to go consume that movie, or I'm watching something stupid on streaming and finding like depth to it. For example, I found more depth to Megan 2 than I found in Tron Ares. And to the point where I actually wrote a script about Megan 2 being way smarter than I thought it would ever be. And the movie's ridiculously dumb, but it knows how dumb it is. And I find that I'm willing to take more risks. And this is Mr. Theater here, but even I'm getting to the point where I'm taking more risks on streaming than I am in theaters. Like, almost, it's weird too, because it's almost like I'm setting myself up for disappointment, because I'm like, oh, I'll go see the Fantastic Four in theaters. Well, if you ask yourself the honest question, when did you last enjoy a Marvel movie that much? And the answer is, it's been a while.
Mm-hmm.
And, I hate to see theaters ever struggle, but I think Hollywood's got to do better on top of just, putting out crap. Because your $600 million Star Wars movie, it may have been a social event for, the pre-pandemic days, but if you're trying to make The Mandalorian and Grogu for $500 million, and it already looks like a fucking TV episode, it's just getting to a point where there's it doesn't even make sense to do these things anymore.
If I was a betting man, I'd be like, we should start taking bets to find out how much money that movie costs to make and how much it's going to make at the box office.
A box office contest. Yeah, I mean, that would be something. Can we predict the markets better than Hollywood marketers? I mean, the thing is that, again, Disney's not going to have such huge losses financially speaking on their movies that's going to cause them to fold up. It's just not happening. That their infrastructure model, the same with all other studios, doesn't work the same way as a regular small business or a regular big business. One of the things that should be of huge concern is the fact that when you go to the movies these days, there's a lot of new directors that are shooting film like it's television. I mean, if you guys haven't been listening to the Peacemaker podcast with James Gunn, it's a good podcast. Does show you a little bit more behind the scenes stuff. But James Gunn makes a really great point, which is that he hates watching movies where it's a camera that's locked into a single frame and the actors are kind of standing or sitting and you're just going back and forth between them. There's no choreography, there's no blocking, there's no movement within the scene. It's just hit your mark, say your line, move on. It is like directing traffic. And when you have that level of directing on your feature film side of things, you have a ton of disengagement. Like Tron Ares had a ton of that, where it's just lock the camera. Jared Leto is 2/3 to the side of the frame. He's staring up the big holographic head of Matt Boner from WandaVision. And he's talking about whatever. He's answering whatever questions or making any questions to the character.
Mhm.
And it's boring.
It
Whereas
was-
you
it
take a
was
look
not
at
good
the
movie.
original cinematography in Tron, and even in Tron Legacy, they're moving the camera around. We're seeing parts of the world in a different aspect here. They're trying to tell a story with the camera movement in addition to what the characters are doing and saying. Now it's just like, nope, whatever the characters are saying, because they're not doing anything and the camera's not moving, so that's all we got. And
Mhm.
you feel divorced from it. And you feel like, hey, yeah, this is something I could put on the background while I'm doing other things around the house or around work. And that's not what a movie's designed to do. That's not what a television show is designed to do. Television show is trying to compel you to watch and not being able to take your eyes off of it, because they're going to break it up several times throughout the half hour or the hour with commercial ads that are going to pay for the show. We want you to be invested. We want to write you stuff and show you stuff that makes you say, yep, I got to listen to this. I got to watch this. I got to see every single detail. And then when I have to either tape it on my VCR back in the 80s or record it on TiVo, or now today is like go back to streaming to watch it over and over again, because I want to pick, because it was such an engaging episode, such an engaging show. I want to pick up every single small thing, every piece of effort that production did to ensure my entertainment. You don't see that level anymore. Even the stuff that I'm working on here, every time I see when I worked on this one show where they just locked the camera and they did the actors, I would just hide my Snickers and scoff me like, this is the laziest directing ever. And then when I tell my cohorts and even some of my bosses, be like, yeah, it was a good day, made our day, but the footage is going to look incredibly boring because it's just locked camera, actor hitting their mark, saying their line, and then moving on. Like, there's nothing fun about watching them. They're just...
You think enough people have been conditioned for that is the right way to do stuff, that like audiences won't accept anything more interesting? Because we already see them having issues accepting old films because the old ways were boring to them. But like, what if a new way is like actually boring, but they are okay with it because it's new?
I think it has to do with effort versus return. Because we've launched so many streaming services, because we've had to put out more content to occupy 24 hours as opposed to the traditional just 12 or 8 to 12. The effort in making a production with all the details that I mentioned earlier just doesn't have the return on investment anymore, because there's so much out there to compete. And there are bare basic aspects to a show that some people will gravitate more towards than others. The thing that I've been noticing is that the generation between 20 and 40 right now, excluding present company, don't care enough about media to really invest the way that the previous generation did. Their kids, the Gen Z or Gen Alpha, whatever, Gen Alpha, I think it is, they are bored with the instant TikTok style derivative narrative stuff, that they have started YouTube channels going back to watch classic movies and are blown away by them. Now, they don't go further beyond the 1970s with the exception of the James Bond movies, but they have those reaction channels. And
Oh yeah, there's a huge
market.
boom right now in what is it, like it's both on YouTube and on TikTok. Yeah, first time watching whatever movie series or first time reading. Like there are a lot of like first time like people going through like the first Harry Potter book, and I'm like looking at my watch and my calendar like, damn,
almost
this
30
is
years
where
ago.
we're at right now. Yeah. Like that's great, but it does speak to like where we're at right now in entertainment. Like people are trying to make content off of like their first experience with this stuff that's been out for 30, 40,
50
50,
years.
60
Yeah.
years, right?
Like, yeah, it's basically the age of majority right now. Number one, doesn't really have money. Number two, doesn't have any interest, no curiosity, no hobbies, no time to do anything. The generation below them, they're still living with their parents, so they have less responsibilities. So the current culture they're getting is not rewarding, and they're listening to their grandparents saying, "Oh no, when we were your age, this is the stuff that we watched." It's like, "Oh, I want to see what that is all about." And then they've opened up their world to what culture used to be, definitive. It had a definition to it. I could not define this culture without using the word empty, like the current generation's culture between 2008 to 2025. It's like the lost years, almost like the dark ages, but lit by your cell phone.
That's a perfect way to describe the modern age. It's a dark time lit by your cell phone.
Yeah, just made that up on the fly right here.
You should be a writer, man.
I've been dabbling,
Yeah, every week there's always another way for me to realize that we have gone down a path in entertainment that it's just not recovering from, at least for a long time.
Going down
And
a path
then-
I can't follow.
It's gonna take another decade, because again, the people that I will say this: if we can get the economy to turn around and people can have jobs again that pay well enough that they have disposable income, that is going to allow an entertainment industry to thrive. Because number one, the smaller movies.
Well, entertainment's a luxury.
Yeah, it is. And the smaller productions, the smaller films, smaller television shows that are able to break through all the minutia, they'll get the attention, they'll get the investment, get bigger, they'll produce stuff that will enrich the competition and allow the legacy studios to kind of step up again. And everybody wins as a result of that. But it's not as much of chicken and the egg. It's like the customers first need to have the cash, and you have to be able to find something to hit that demand, that need. And the other part is we need a whole group of executives and producers to divorce themselves from the idea of trying to give what the customer wants, because customers have a very diverse set of needs diverse set of interests and wants, but they all have a common need. Because again, customers in 1977 would never be able to demand Star Wars, but they needed Star Wars. Someone felt, George Lucas said, I've got this allegorical story about, a resistance against an empire, a farm boy becoming a hero, and an easy journey to process and understand in a time where we had The Godfather, Apocalypse Now, and a horrible war that was tearing the country apart. We need a little bit of hope. That's what he saw. He said, we as a culture need hope. I think Star Wars can do that. And he was just doing it as a fun film with that underlying message. The worst thing that you can do, and this gets me into a lot of trouble on YouTube Spaces, especially when some people say, like, oh yeah, let the fans decide. It's easy. They know what they're talking about. No, they don't. They know what they love. We appreciate what they love. We need them to love the thing. But they're the ones that fuel the creative process in the sense that they're saying we want more. And the we want more that they take out at first glance that I've noticed is, oh, we want more of the same. But deep down, you don't really want more of the same. You want another entry. You want to build off of what you saw before.
Well, you want something that makes you feel the same joy and enthusiasm and
Yes, you
excitement
want the same-
as this thing, but you don't actually
same
want a
feelings.
one-for-one thing.
Yeah, you want the same feelings achieved in a different way. Because if you wanted like the same, Empire Strikes
We
Back
have
would
Force
never-
Awakens.
Empire Strikes Back would never have existed. You would have had Force Awakens instead of the second Star Wars film. That's how you know what the differential is. The other part too, and it's saddened me to say this because it's far more majority than it is a rarity. I have worked on projects where some of the key players who are known as the biggest fans of that franchise would come in to consult. And every single cool idea we had that at no point betrayed the essence of the story or the characters, they would reject because they didn't agree with it. They didn't want to see their characters go through pain in order to achieve victory. And that's another part. Fans have a very difficult time on the creative side wanting to put their heroes through really, really dangerous, dark journeys to show how strong and amazing that they are to overcome those types of things. But When you show them those stories, they love them because you're putting them on a journey. The way that you can have a fan that is able to elevate themselves into a writer is when they can divorce that fandom and say, okay, I really want to tell a Luke Skywalker story, but a part of me doesn't want to put him through, doesn't want him to lose another limb. He doesn't want him to lose a student or Lord Leia. We don't want any sort of huge tragedy has to face off. We need something that's, not going to have a huge impact on him. That is a bad
You have to be willing to do whatever's going to actually advance the character, advance the story. Sometimes that requires actually putting a character through stuff.
It's before you even get to the story part of it. It's like, how do I prove that Luke Skywalker is still the character that we left him at the end? It's like, well, I got to test him and challenge him and put him in situations that are incredibly difficult to navigate so that I can show how much he has learned in the previous adventures and what he is learning in this path. And take a look at every single Star Wars fan film. You will never see the main character going through any type of struggle. They'll draw a lightsaber, they'll draw a blaster, they'll kill everybody in the room, and it's super cool. And you're like, yeah, okay, thanks. There's that actor who did like an Obi-Wan prequel, and it's just Obi-Wan in the middle of the desert, spinning his lightsaber around, deflecting all of these laser blasts and killing everybody around him. And it's the most boring 7 minutes I have ever seen of a Star Wars fan film. I think he also did the same thing where he's like Han Solo as well, and he's just like walking in, owning the scene, and boom, shooting. It's like, no, when we first saw Han Solo, he was ambushed by Greedo, and he got out of that by his own scoundrel nature, by the skin of his teeth. Like, that's what you want to see.
Yeah, there's a level of wish fulfillment that comes with it. To a point where it's like, that's why I can't get into a lot of, and this is me being super nerdy, like, I've tried to watch fan films like the Spider-Man ones. People are like, Jeff, did you see this? It's so cool. It's got this. It's got that. I'm like, you know what? I will laud the people for their effort and the work they did. But I never go back and rewatch these things because they never feel like the thing they're trying to be. It's always just like some guy in a suit trying to be Deadpool, but he's playing Spider-Man. And you already brought up the criticisms of the Star Wars ones, so I won't go into that. But
the Marvel ones are crazy. The Batman ones, gosh, there are thousands of Batman ones that are boring that just do the same thing over and over again. And I'm not trying to crap all over the fandoms that want to put that in there that show their love. I'm just saying, like, there's a reason why you love the things that you love, and it's not the reasons that the fan films you see are what the fan films you see do to fulfill that.
Well, there's a difference between loving a thing and understanding what exactly it is that you innately and subconsciously love about that thing, what it actually is. You have to get underneath the surface to actually get to what the root of that is. It's not just the cool stuff that's happening on the screen. That's part of it, sure, but that's only literally the surface level.
That's the catharsis of the struggle, right? The cool stuff is the catharsis. Like, first Star Wars film, Luke, he's crapped on throughout most of that movie until he takes a little bit of action to help rescue the princess. They're fleeing in the Millennium Falcon. He's getting behind the turret for the first time, and he's excited because he managed to destroy a TIE fighter. And what does Han Solo say? Great kid, don't get cocky. Because it's like, there's more important things than just being able to say you got that. And then, the original Death Star run before it was saved in the edit by Marshall Lucas and Richard Cho, and the third guy's escaping me right now. Luke failed the first time on that run. He relied on the computer. He had the same thing that Red Leader had, and he and Wedge went back in and then did it again. And this time he used the Force and it worked. He came from a farm boy who knew nothing about the Force to being able to use it at the end after being thrown in a bar, after being crapped on by Han Solo, after being held back a little bit by Obi-Wan just because Obi-Wan is teaching him, and then being thrown in over his head with having to, essentially go into the lion's den in a little snub fighter against a planet-sized battle station and blow it up by the skin of his teeth. Like, that's a victory. Then you have Rey. What happens? Well, she knows how to fly the Millennium Falcon. She knows how to fix the Millennium Falcon. She picks up a lightsaber for the first time and is able to defeat Kylo Ren, even though he was shot in the stomach and thus made him slightly weaker. She still managed to hold her own against that. But the thing is,
she managed to figure out how to use the Force suggestion right away.
It's far better to. I mean, Luke in Empire He fails every single one of Yoda's lessons. I've met so many fans that fail to realize that. I mean, they're great. They always lead to great conversations, but they're like, yeah, Luke's a great Jedi at the end of Empire. No, he's a terrible Jedi at the end of Empire.
He's not even a Jedi.
No, he's not one. He failed. Yeah,
he failed.
And that's before he gets his butt kicked by Vader.
I mean, yeah, we still love him at the end. Why? Even though he failed, he didn't run away to just hide. He's like, I'm back. I went back to Rebellion, and what's the first thing we're doing? I'm sending Lando and Chewie to go rescue my buddy Han. And then
we don't get inspired by characters who just win all the time, and we know they're going to win all the time. We get inspired by characters who, like, despite the fact that they might get knocked down and get their butts handed to them, we're inspired by their strive to still get back up on their feet, despite the fact that they just got the crap pushed in, and give another go at it, right?
Yeah.
Because they're trying to fight for something bigger than themselves.
And you just
even if they're against all the odds.
And you just described the first 10 minutes of James Gunn's Superman.
Yeah.
We open it up like a classic 1970s comic book where the cover shows Superman poisoned with green skin and he's dying. He's like, oh my God, what's going on with Superman? You're like, oh, I got to figure out what happened here. What do we get? Opening of Superman. Superman, for the first time in 3 years, gets his butt kicked. Here he is, suffering, bleeding for the first time. What does he do? Well, he makes it to the fortress. He gets healed up. And instead of like saying, no, I'm going to stay here until I'm 100%, he's like, nope, I got to get back out there because those people are in danger. And then he goes through a fight. He loses that fight again. But, you know, the guy, you know, flies away, leaving Superman to be humiliated. But does he hide? No, he's back out there again, stopping that giant kaiju monster. Oh, and when the whole world turns on him because of that video, does he hide forever? No, he decides to turn himself in, try and find his cousin's dog. And then when he finally breaks out and he recovers, as soon as the world's in peril, Mr. Terrific's, he's about to go help the people in the Middle East there, the Jaipur. And then before he goes, so Mr. Terrific's like, no, man, I need you in Metropolis because the world's breaking apart in half. And he still shows up and he rescues that woman on that bridge. He doesn't give up. He maybe has
That's such a good scene right there, too.
Yeah.
Like that shot. That shot where he catches the falling building was aces.
And I'm like, yeah, that's a hero who keeps on rising to the occasion after he gets a setback. And excuse me. And it's like, yeah, sure, we would have loved a couple of extra scenes where he's doing something more super heroic and it's a little more tense on the people he's rescuing as opposed to him. But what we got was still pretty cool. I mean, I would have loved to see, like, you know, rescuing Lois Lane from the helicopter scene or rescuing the plane from like Superman Returns. Those two rescue scenes are like absolutely fantastic, pacing wise and everything. I would have loved to see something a little bit like that in Superman. We didn't get that. That's a disappointment for me. But I mean, everything else worked out well. Like we got heck, even in Superman Returns, he gets stabbed with kryptonite and he falls down and Lois manages to pull it out. And what does he do? Well, he goes back up, recharges, lifts that giant kryptonite island and throws it into space. Yeah, a little anticlimactic, but still, thematically speaking, character thinking, he did not give up. Superman in the first one, well, Lois Lane, he rescues California. Lois Lane dies, gets so upset, he flies so fast he travels back in time and is able to save the woman he loves, violating a code that his father Jor-El told him never to violate. And he basically says, you know what, to heck with that. Her dying is wrong, and I need to fix it. And I can't. And it's like, that's great. You defy your father for do something that's right over doing something that's right. That's a bit more right than the other right that the father from the past is telling him to do. All great stuff that, I mean, we don't see as much from some other creators, that we don't see as much from studios, especially at Disney. Like, I don't think we're going to get any arc in Mandalorian and Grogu at all.
No,
I think we're just going to series of events.
No.
It'll just be cutesy shit to sell, and if you don't like it,
It'll be a
you're
2-hour
hater.
side quest.
And it's going to look like it's going to look like Disney Plus shop, because that is the current mandate at Disney. Is you got to shoot the movie so that it can play on Disney Plus and look great there. Can't look like it's a great movie. Can't look like it was a traditional movie, because people don't watch, I think, movies in theaters anymore unless it's a home theater, and even then, it's still just a glorified large TV show. And it hurts me a little bit, especially when I talk to like indie filmmakers or filmmakers that do work at the studio system, but they get their one studio film and then they do a couple of their own films, and their own films always look 1,000 times better than the stuff that they're to do at the studio, because the studio says, well, we want it to look this way. It's like, well, I want to make movies the way that that looked the way I grew up watching them. Large than life, amazing, a real showmanship of movie magic. And they're like, yeah, that's wonderful. Numbers say we can pump out stuff like this.
How do you think Stranger Things is going to look? Like crappy TV or cinematic? The
The first season was kind of cinematic, but it's kind of, I haven't seen much of, I think season 3 was the last bit I saw, and I noticed that was kind of looking more TV-like than the first season. So,
well, I just seen a post talking about how they're going to be, the episode lengths aren't as long as people thought, and they're, trying to make it cinematic, but the CGI in that show looks great, and some of the effects, but it still looks just like really nice TV.
Mm-hmm.
But I did think Alien started out looking cinematic, and then it just kind of stopped looking cinematic. So
yeah,
I just stopped watching it, dude. That show, I was riding so high on that first week. I was like, man, this is great science fiction television that I can get excited for. And then I just stopped.
I know, I've heard such weird things from it. I was surprised that Noah Hawley wasn't able to nail this, because I loved his Fargo series. Like,
the thing is, it doesn't like suck. It just wasn't good enough to get me to. Here's what happened. I missed 2 weeks, and the thought of spending 2 hours watching that show seemed like such a task and a hassle. So I just instantly said, I'm done. Like, I'm done watching it because I don't want to spend hours trying to catch up. So,
that's the most "I'm just not interested" response I have ever heard.
Well, I mean, that just segues. Sorry, go ahead, Jeff.
Good.
Yeah.
I think we've reached a point where it's like, the stuff I'm interested in, you get little bits of it, and then the shit that I'm not that interested in, they just keep shoveling it on your plate. It's like macaroni and cheese at a buffet. I hear more. It's like, I don't want the mac and cheese. I want the expensive prime rib. But no, they're gonna give me more mac and cheese to fill me up. That's what I'm finding with that show. It's just, it was like great in the beginning, and then it became filler. And I guess I'm checked out on a lot of TV shows that aren't Tulsa King or a couple other ones. I'm not liking it.
Well, I mean, that goes to segue back into Tron Ares, because Tron Ares is a movie that looks like it was written by a bunch of fans or people pretending what fans would be like to write a movie.
Yeah,
because I saw a screener during the turn down yesterday, and
sorry.
it was horrible. They forget that all of the light cycles and light ships and stuff, they don't have that trail all the time. They do that as a means of a defense or trapping or weaponry. They don't just fly and always have that streak behind them. Like, they can fly without it. That's the point. They turn it on and it's like, oh my gosh, this sudden thing, and it entraps an enemy or cuts the destroys the enemy. You have the head of the matriarchy from Acolyte as Athena.
I didn't even realize that was her.
Yeah, that was her. You have Jared Leto, a 60-year-old guy that's desperately trying to still look like he's 30 and act like a kid, talking about how much he loves the 80s. Yeah, poser.
Wow. How do you really feel?
You have a story about a girl and her sister that has no emotional connection to it, because we never see the sister. So it's just this thing. She gets trapped in the grid only to escape immediately afterwards. So we have no experience there for her, no revelation, nothing of note. Yeah. The desire for like programs to want to be in the real world, and just I don't care. and the whole Dillinger thing of like, we're in debt and we're trying to make a military contract with replicating things from the grid world. Okay.
Script, you're being far too kind. The plot of this movie is they learn how to 3D print shit from the internet, and it can only stay in the real world for 29 minutes. So the MacGuffin is the thing called a permanence code. Their 3D printed objects will survive. It was. I thought
not even understanding how 3D printing works. Yeah.
I thought the girl was a Mary Sue type character, because it's like, oh my god, I might be a tech billionaire lady, but this foreign technology that has never existed in the real world, that's technically like alien technology, like folks, the light cycle. She just goes up to it. She tries to lift it up. She can't lift it up. Then she's like, oh, a touchscreen. And then she's like Rey in The Force Awakens. She just knows how to, I bypassed the suppressor or whatever she says.
It's programming from a rival company that she hasn't been exposed to as far as we can tell. And she was like up in Alaska for months looking in old floppy disks, like actual floppy disks from 82.
Yeah, that movie series has lost its way a long time ago. First off, 2 points. One, for as much as I like Legacy, it is not a movie that stuck around. It was not that big of a hit. I only knew a few people that liked it. I went and saw it multiple times, and I
enjoyed it.
Soundtrack, like it was. I love that movie. Like
I saw it in IMAX with my dad.
I saw it in IMAX with my buddy, and we both were like, "Man, this movie kicks ass!" And it turned me into a lifelong Tron Legacy fan, and I like the original movie. That's a very good film, but this just didn't even figure out how like Tron worked. It, like you said, it's a script. It was made by people that didn't understand it, and it pisses me off that they just couldn't get this one right, because it's a Disney IP that they own, but they still turn. It has all the bad tropes that everybody hates with modern entertainment. And it's just not good. It's got terrible exposition. The effects aren't that groundbreaking. And I'll even go as far to say is that the Trent Reznor score isn't as good as the Daft Punk score. And they're not even close.
No, they're not. It's not even close. I will say, Tron Legacy shares a lot of similar story beats to The Force Awakens.
Oh, yeah, it did.
Yeah.
But
I mean, the fact that your legacy hero of Flynn has vanished, and now Sam is kind of looking for him when he realizes that he's trapped in the grid. And then Sam, he does a prank on NCOM showing his prowess with computer programming, but he's kind of living in a garage down by the lake. And Mentor tells him, hey, yeah, maybe you should go do something here. Bruce Boxleitner comes back for that one scene, sadly. Should have been in more. But I mean, the thing is, it's a far better executed version of that plot structure, because it has other things going for it. And then on top of that, you have the one thing that we didn't get with Star Wars The Force Awakens, is when you do see Flynn come back, he makes a heroic sacrifice at the end to save his son. And he stands up to become the hero that he should have done years ago. But the reason he didn't do it years ago is because he felt that in order to preserve this mainframe network of the grid, he had to walk away. And I thought that was a weak explanation, because nothing in that world affects the rest of the world. Had it been like one of the first main computers plugged into the internet, and the only way to save all of that data would be to occupy Clue in that computer, so it wouldn't be going out and spreading like a virus. And Flynn was doing that through, essentially guerrilla tactics. That would have been interesting, because then you have stakes. Oh, the entire knowledge of the entire world is at stake, because if Clue gets a hold of it, he can manipulate people in the real world to do whatever he needs to try and get his grand dream of, escaping the grid and creating the perfect world, which is what he was programmed to do in the grid, that he wants to apply not just to the computer world, but also to the real world as well, essentially becoming a dictator in two realms. Oh, that'd be a fantastic movie. Fantastic stakes. Completely makes sense as to why Kevin Flynn would stay in the grid after being trapped there and not try to escape in any way, just so he can, ensure that Clue can't do that. Sam, Kevin, Sam Flynn finding out his dad's been a hero for ever since he's been gone, because all those weird things that's been happening on the internet for the past 20 years, where Clue's attempts at, manipulating data, creating a false narrative, all the things that would be dubious to information, and Kevin was pulling it back every time.
And I just love the Jeff Bridges interaction with, I guess his name's Garrett Hedlund, the actor. There was a lot of warmth with that. This movie felt like every generic trope that a movie studio would throw in, and then there's the brand name. How much of the grid was the movie? Did the movie take place in? 7 minutes of the movie was the grid. That's it. The rest was,
and no Tron.
Tron.
Title character not in your movie.
I mean, maybe it's good that Tron wasn't in that one, because at least the character was spared from
Humiliation.
What was the
Yeah.
yeah? What was even the point though? Like, I'm working on a video about this, but the other week there was that whole article how Disney lost its male audience for an entire generation. This movie doesn't really do anything to challenge that. It's kind of like, yeah, they really have.
You know what the other biggest miss was? One of the things that was made the original Tron so clever is that the characters that in the real world that wrote their programs looked like them in the grid world. Jared Leto should have played Dillinger in the real world, as well as his Ares version.
Yeah, that would have been a lot cooler.
That's the rule. Like, you know, the person that creates the program emulates the physical characteristics of that creator.
Though they don't even follow their own logic, but you know, at least you only saw it on a small screener. I paid to see it in 3D, and the 3D wasn't very good. And
3D's never good. 3D's the worst gimmick that's been used in movies since the 50s.
Thanks, James Cameron, for convincing studios that it was still viable, and we're still stuck with it in 2025.
That's also he could just play with those 3D camera toys. Really,
I'm gonna innovate. I just kind of want to play with this stuff.
Yeah.
That's kind of funny.
I'm going to say something controversial that's going to hurt a lot of people. If James Cameron just walked away from filmmaking and never touched anything again, I would be happy.
Yeah, but he's still entertaining other Terminator story ideas.
He's still got, what is it, 6 more Avatar films that he wants to make?
He's filmed supposedly 4 already.
Jeez.
Supposedly.
Well, he can get away with that because most of that movie just is made in a computer, but Terminator is a Schwarzenegger franchise. It's not an IP that you can just put anybody into.
Yeah.
I know they've tried.
They've tried a few times now, actually, yeah.
It's like, oh man, we're going to do a Rambo movie with Batista. That'll work, right?
Oh,
No.
God.
I almost said Kumail Nanjiani. That's a worse actor. That's Kumail Nanjiani on the podcast proper.
Nah,
Yeah,
man, they do it with Pedro Pascal at this point.
Either one of those two would be horrible.
I forgot Pedro Pascal even existed anymore.
You know what?
Honestly, I'm not being
I
sarcastic.
try to
I don't
forget.
think about him.
I would love to see it. I think you can make a Terminator movie where Robert Patrick is a T-1000 but a good guy, kind of reprogrammed like the original one. Because Robert Patrick, he's been playing villains for a long time, but in that little bit when he in Peacemaker season 2 where he played a hero that was like coping with the world he lived in, he owned that way better than he'd ever owned a scene as a villain. And it's like I kind of want to see him as a hero in a decent production. And just see how that works. Because, I mean, he's such a good actor as, like, a villain or antagonist. But he's
great in Tulsa King right now.
Yeah, he's awesome in Tulsa. Actually, one of his best performances, as shockingly as it is to say, is in Striptease. He is hysterical in Striptease. He uses his daughter to steal wheelchairs and sell them on the black market in Striptease. He gets his arm broken, and he fixes it with a golf club and then uses that as a weapon so that he can find out what his ex-wife is doing. It's a it's a comedy that Demi Moore refused to play it as a comedy. She thought it needs to be a dramatic, serious movie. But everybody else in that movie knows it's a comedy and plays it as a comedy.
Man,
well,
that's a premise, if ever there was one.
What holds up better, Striptease or Showgirls?
Striptease.
I haven't seen either.
I've seen neither.
To be honest.
Oh, dude, Burt Reynolds is hysterical in Striptease.
All right.
I just think I read a book recently on it was Jay Chandrasekhar's book.
Okay.
He tells Burt Reynolds stories about how difficult Burt Reynolds was
on Dukes of Hazzards. Yeah.
Yeah. But apparently he was stubborn to the point where when they brought him a stunt double, he took offense. And he proceeded to tell them to turn on the camera, and then he threw himself over the desk and did all the shit that the stuntman had already filmed, just to prove that he was the real deal.
Wow. I
Yeah,
mean,
he also didn't.
respect,
He
I
came
guess.
back and refused to, I think, I think in one of the reshoots he refused to shave part of his face, and so he's for some strange reason he's got like a chin strap in Dukes of Hazzard at the ending, as opposed to the rest of the movie where he just had the white mustache.
Well, it's the evolution of the character. That's what character growth means.
Oh no,
Burt
like
Reynolds.
that was
Facial
just
hair.
how Burt Reynolds was. Like if you ran a production that didn't impress him, he was a nightmare to work with. Because he always signed on to stuff that because he was impressed with the pitch and like the idea, and then if the execution didn't live up to that, he'd be like, okay, I'm just going to do what I can professionally, but as soon as the camera stops rolling, I am going to voice my opinion. And people did not like what he had to say a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Like he hates Boogie Nights, or hated Boogie Nights, because again, if you don't know, Andrew, Burt Reynolds did pass away.
You will never live that one down, my man. Like next week on the show, it's gonna. Well, we don't have a show next week, but the week after that on the show, we'll be talking about. Did you know Abraham Lincoln was shot?
Oh my gosh!
1860.
It wasn't by John Wilkes Booth, was it? Because that guy was a great actor.
My co-hosts
He was
are
a great
comedians. Remarkable.
This is gonna be like when Dion once said on the podcast, you can't really understand people if you go back in time 30 years. And we're like, hold on a second. I can watch a movie from 1985 and understand what they're saying. And he's like, that's not what I meant. And we never gave him a chance to correct himself. So that's yours, Andrew, right now. So-and-so is...
Damn it. I guess I'm just going to have to own that.
I think you should own it. I think, Andrew, you will win over everybody if you can say, you know what? I just found out that this person died.
Yeah, you can take it back. Make it your own.
We're going to get to our next Easter episode. I'm going to be like, guys, I heard that Jesus died and he came back.
Yeah, 3 days later.
I missed both events.
Well, maybe you should be more up to date on things, Andrew.
I guess so. I don't pay enough attention to the damn world, I guess.
At this point, it's your fault, not ours.
Nobody did blame but my damn self.
Let's check in with the audience, shall we? Because I'll be honest, man. Unless you want me to vent about hating Tron Ares, which there isn't even enough to bitch about. It just wasn't a good movie. Like,
I was super bummed to hear that y'all were. I know a lot of other people were saying online, but most of them I don't trust their opinions nearly as much. But when I saw that you guys were also like, man, that was a big letdown. I was like, oh, really? Like, I was like really ready to go see it in my theater, my local theater. I was going to take a weekend. I'm like, all right, man, I'm gonna get some popcorn. I'm gonna get myself a drink, and I'm gonna go see this. I'm looking forward to it because I liked the first two. I had a great time with the first two. Now I'm just like, I guess I'll just wait for it to be on demand.
it even has some of those like girl boss elements that people could glean from. Like, if you ever hear anybody on the internet say like, "Oh, it's got this and that," I have a fucking text thread full of notes I wrote to myself. Like, this lady doesn't know how this shit works, but she knows how to make it work. There's a part where like at the end of the movie, she doesn't really know what she's doing, but she knows to like slide underneath the energy walls from the light cycle and do all this heroic shit. And you're just like, why is she the focal point of this movie? Like, you're advertising Jared Leto, but you're giving us this lady, and then like nobody's a good character.
I don't even remember
Seriously,
her in the
that's
trailer.
not an exaggeration.
Yeah.
I can't think of a single character that made me go, I like them. I want to see more of them.
Yeah, they even had Hassan Minaj in there, who I think is a fraud.
I don't even know who that is.
You don't have. Oh, good. Okay, that's reasonable. He was a short-lived correspondent on the Daily Show to give you some current Daily Show, so give you some context there. It's a lousy stand-up comic.
I could probably count on one hand the number of episodes or parts of episodes of that show that I've seen. Probably don't even need all 5 fingers.
Yeah. Yeah. He's on the same level as like Ronnie Chang. Again, someone who you probably don't know and are right to not know.
Is that the guy from Crazy Rich Asians?
Yes.
He's just that guy. Like, he was in Megan. I was like, oh, it's that guy.
Yeah.
He is...
Yeah, I don't know who that is either.
I don't think you need to see Megan. Like, I'm not gonna sit and act like Megan's this brilliant movie, Andrew. It's if you've had 5 too many glasses of wine and there's literally nothing else to watch, then you watch Megan. But, like,
I'd still rather rewatch something I enjoy.
yes, but it's not like a dog shit movie. It's just beyond stupid.
That was that horror movie that came out like a couple of years back, isn't it?
Yeah, but then the sequel came out this year, and I bought a popcorn.
I didn't even
bucket
hear about
from
the
it
sequel
for-
coming out.
Nobody saw it, but I watched it on
I guess
Peacock
that's
one
why. Fair
afternoon.
enough.
Yeah, you don't have to feel bad about this one, but dude, it's so like it knows how shitty it is, and that's where it's fun because Tron takes itself so seriously. A lot of these movies are just like there's no level of like wiggle room for hilarity, but that movie has it. Maybe I would have less complaints about some of these big budget epics if they were just a little more self-aware how goofy they were. Like, oh, I just got sucked into a computer. Ha ha. Like, not just, oh, it's the grid. Now we have to get on a, what was that script that they drove? Like a ski-doo or whatever in the digital world?
Oh yeah, like that's so weird. Tron Legacy establishes water in the grid, and then in this grid, it's not water; it's just pixels, and they
Just
don't.
like in Superman.
Yeah, like that proton thing. Yeah, and somehow she can hold her breath for a long time. It's just so dumb. So dumb.
I was so excited to talk about that movie last week, and then I fucking watched it. That's all I can say.
I'd sooner, I don't know, rewatch anything else. At this point.
Almost the same for like, if you're like, what would you rather watch, Fantastic Four or this? I might. What would I pick? Shit.
Oh,
Something. I'll
man,
pick a
yeah,
movie.
I have no interest in that either.
It's better than Tron Ares, but it's also not good. Like, enough for me to buy.
I mean, sometimes the bar can be that low, right?
It is
Where a
for
freaking
Fantastic Four.
quadriplegic can find a way to jump over it.
It's just weird because, like, if you would listen to our review from 3 months ago, we were all pretty.
Shut up,
positive
Clone
on it.
Geek. You son of a bitch.
What? I don't have that chat pulled up.
The one above that he said, man, y'all are killing me.
Oh, you watch Charlie Chaplin?
Yes, I am aware that Charlie
Iodine,
Chaplin.
don't you dare turn on Tron Legacy. I don't care how shitty Disney movies are or whatever. I'll still stand by Tron Legacy. I watched that 2 weeks ago. Still good in my book. So
Is there a 4K
stand
for that?
Yes, there
Yep.
should be a 4K steelbook out for that.
Yeah.
I'm looking for it. It's sold quickly. It's on Disney Plus in 4K. It looks really good. But that's not a plug for the service. It's just, hey, they rendered and transferred and did all this great shit with their movie. So that's all I'm saying. Positive.
I would be curious to see that in 4K. I bet it does look super clean.
If the disc wasn't like $50, I'd buy it.
Oh,
Yeah, the first
yeah,
one's 80.
that's a little steep for a single movie for me, man.
Yeah, when I'm
I
paying
could afford
$100
it,
for
but
the
it's like
James
I'm
Bond
not
box
willing to
set.
pay that much for it for that movie anyway. There are movies where it's like if it's a special collector's, release of something, maybe it's got a disc with like bonus featurettes and stuff. Cool, I'll do that. That's not a movie I'm willing to shell out for.
Yeah, me neither. It's like
As much
I'll
as
do
I
it for
enjoyed it.
box sets.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I got the Back to the Future coming soon. The 40th anniversary medal with the Hill Valley history and all this crap. I went
Yeah.
crazy for that one.
If they release if Paramount releases like a special complete Mission Impossible film collector's set, in 4K with a bunch of bonus features, a cool box presentation, I'll pay it depending on what's in it. I'll pay up to like $150, $200 for that. If it's
What if
like
it self-destructs upon viewing?
I honestly hope it actually has some sort of message in it that does say something to the effect of, this, thing will
This box set
self-destruct.
will self-destruct after you complete watching it.
Yeah, like that would be fun to me. That's the kind of stuff I'd love.
The problem is today's audience would be like taking it back to Target. This thing's gonna blow up and kill me. Like people are that dense that they would bitch.
That's Inspector Gadget, not Mission Impossible.
Man,
Yeah, all that happens is the tape just destroys itself slowly.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
message will self-destruct, not blow up. It's different things. That was what made Inspector Gadget so fun. It's like this message will self-destruct. He crumples it up, he throws it in the trash, and it blows up the chief who's hiding in the trash can.
exactly.
Good old Chief Quimby. God, I love that cartoon. And that's a show you could get me talking about for hours, but I won't. I'll just be like, hey, folks, one day we'll do some Inspector Gadget content. When they remake Inspector Gadget, that's when we'll talk about it.
Oh gosh, I hope they don't. I mean, we already have 2 live-action films with, French
French
Stewart,
Stewart and Matthew Broderick.
Matthew Broderick, which I couldn't bring myself to watch.
So the Matthew Broderick one's bad, but if you believe what people on the internet say, the French Stewart one is better.
I can believe that because French Stewart is a way better comedic actor than Matthew Broderick. Matthew Broderick is just different all over.
He just kind of comes across as awkward.
Yeah.
The only time I've liked Matthew Broderick was in Ferris Bueller, because I think he's a.
I like him in
Ferris
Ferris Bueller, and I like him in Godzilla.
Oh yeah.
That's a lot
His
of
cameo
fish.
in Only Murders was brilliant.
Yeah, that was funny. Hopefully this season continues strong and closes strong, because
Yeah,
two
I have my
episodes left.
suspicion on who the murderer could be this season.
I'm just not in love with the story. Like, don't worry, folks, we're not going to spoil anything for you,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't dislike it. But I also, if this was like the first season of the show, I wouldn't be like amped up to watch a second season. I'd just be
Yeah,
like, it was a
because
fun show.
there's a theme about the breaking apart that they're playing with, which I know is not going to go in the direction that we expect it to. They're going to be together at the end, but it just feels kind of like a gimmick right now, and it hasn't done the same thing the way, like, you know, the stage play that Oliver was putting on was doing as a distraction. So yeah, we'll see.
Plus, we had the Pickwitch triplets.
Yeah, Penguin triplets. Gosh, man. I will say Steve Martin acting like he's hopped up on testosterone has been pretty funny.
Yeah, I've liked that quite a bit, and he gets catfished.
Yeah, he gets. Yeah. Christoph Waltz is well, he's playing Christoph Waltz, but it's working for me. I'm digging it so far.
But Renee Zellweger looks weird.
She has looked we. I mean, yeah, she's always looked weird since that break between the last Bridget Jones Diary and then the rumors of her. Did she get a facelift or something? Which turns out she didn't. She just lost baby weight in her face when she, crossed 45.
I mean, good for her. I'm just like trying to figure out, are her expressions meant to be goofy, or is she just like really that derpy looking at all times? Because she looks like she's somewhere between constipated and like bloated.
I
She just
think that
doesn't-
was her gimmick, though. Like all the way through from Me, Myself, and Irene. I think that was her thing.
Renee Zellweger, I don't own a single one of her movies out on my shelf, so I think I spent more time talking about her right now than I ever have in my entire life.
Yeah. No, that would make sense.
Yeah, I'm world class. I don't have time for Bridget Jones' Diary. Not that there's anything wrong. If you in the chat like Bridget Jones' Diary, that's fine. We all have our guilty pleasures. Home Alone
Not that
3.
there's anything wrong with that. Not at all.
No,
There's
no
some ladies out
judgment.
there that probably appreciate that film or that series of films.
But they don't watch this show. Like the crossover between Bridget Jones' Diary and World Class
Oh,
Bullshitters
very
is
minimal.
like slim to none. Like,
Yeah.
It would be shocking
guess-
if we got a poll and be like, yes, everybody in our audience somehow loves that movie. It's like, really? They never brought it up before.
Yeah, like when I made fun of it, they're like, Jeff, you crossed a line. Like everything you've ever said about Disney, we stand by. But Bridget Jones, she's a good girl. Like, what? I would be genuinely surprised. Well, I ain't watching it in 2025, I'll tell you that for sure.
All right.
Let's check in with the audience because I wanted to address something in the chat. It's a positive thing, don't worry, folks. I haven't all of a sudden changed to complain about stuff. Lester, Skeptic Tank Obsessions, thank you very much. Member for 28 months says they weren't appealing characters within the sequels. Luke's arc was appealing because it was being well written and well executed. We could identify with him because of the struggle and the triumph. Rey, no man or woman could identify.
Mm-hmm.
You telling me all the people on Twitter that think Rey's perfect, that think themselves to be perfect, don't identify with Rey Skywalker?
I guess
I wish
not.
that lady all the best in terms of her like acting career and shit. But that is the worst character of the modern age.
It's solidified its place in cultural zeitgeist, that's for sure. I was shocked. I mean, after going to a couple of conventions after the Force Awakens premiered, how many young women were dressed up like Rey, and they legitimately loved her. And it's like, but she's a boring character. I liked Finn, and he was more.
But she looks like me. That's why I like her. And I was like, okay, I don't look like Han Solo, but I like him.
Yeah, I don't look like Obi-Wan Kenobi, but you know, I really like him.
I'm
Great
a
mentor
foot
figure.
taller than Michael J. Fox, but I still like him.
I kind of look like Michael J. Fox.
I mean, everybody thinks I'm Samoan, so I just go with it. Yeah, I'm Samoan. Yeah, I'm Greek. Yeah, I'm this. Yeah, I'm everything.
Oh, mine's because I'm also
every racial way
Canadian.
to be.
They just say like, oh yeah, Michael J. Fox, he's Canadian. You two look alike. I'm like, oh, okay.
What Script Doctor doesn't tell you is that he was actually the stunt double for Mike Myers in Wayne's World 2. So.
Oh, I'd love to have been that. Well, actually, I probably would. I'm taller than Mike, so I probably would have been for Dana Carvey.
I think he's the funnier one of the two in hindsight.
He is.
Because I love Wayne's World and I love Austin Powers, but Dana Carvey just had a bigger, like a wider berth of what he could do. Mike Myers is funny. I'm not here to like shit on him all of a sudden, but it's like once you learn about Dana Carvey's whole career, like, oh yeah, that guy was much better than people give him credit for.
He
was
is
popular.
The thing with Dana Carvey that differentiates him from Mike Myers is Mike Myers is the better concept writer. Dana Carvey is the better person to run with the joke.
It's a good way to look at it.
Yeah, because like I read the Sprocket screenplay that Mike Myers wrote, it is hysterical. And then when you take a look at some of the Dana Carvey led films on his own that he kind of co-wrote, not as good.
What was that? Never mind. We're not going to go down that path. Yeah, Dana Carvey's been in some stinkers. We'll just say Master of Disguise is a piece of shit.
Wait. Aren't we supposed to be going off topic of the show's topics? Is that...
Oh, yeah. Anyway, Luke Cage Season 3. Should we get one?
I like
I'll go
Michael
with no.
Coulter as Luke Cage. Season 2 ended in a way that I would like to see a redemption arc. I don't know if Disney would do that.
That's our new gimmick. We'll go off topic. I'll pick something random. We'll see how long you guys can run with it.
Yeah. It's like Coffee Chat with Mike Myers' character. You know?
Yeah, Linda Richman. Are you
Linda
verklempt?
Richmond, yes. Marvel is neither marvelous nor comic booky. Discuss. I'm verklempt, you know.
I'm going to write that into a bit now here on the show. Become Linda Richmond for Marvel Talk. Instead of Coffee Talk, it's Comic Talk, Andrew.
There you go.
We'll
That's
only
cool.
ta- only
Our cape
talk
shit
comics for
segment,
about
right?
35 seconds.
Yeah, get like a title card to flash up. Comic Talk. And we all talk like women from New York. Old Jewish women from New York.
Oh,
I'll have
goodness.
to practice my old Jewish lady voice, but you know.
I still think that Deadpool is the greatest comic anti-hero in the Marvel Universe because he's so self-aware, just like my husband, George.
Wow. That was disturbingly accurate.
I have traveled
I'll get my
around
lawyer
and met
to
a lot of
coach me.
interesting people.
That was pretty good. That was
I
pretty
have a
good,
lot of
not
old
gonna
Jewish
lie.
people, so I think I can pull it off. Sly C, this is Sly, thank you very much. He says, I feel the same way about Spider-Man 3. People miss that there are lessons that are given to Peter and he fails them to see how they wrap up in the end. You know, Sly, Spider-Man 3 has always been a couple of decisions away from being pretty good. There are dumb moments, but there are quality moments. The stuff with Aunt May is excellent. I think that's just well acted and well executed.
Mm-hmm.
If Mary Jane wasn't so selfish, because it's like everything Peter Parker seemed to be doing was like the right thing to do. He's like, oh, don't let that bother you. You know, when they do this to me, I understand what it's like. He's trying to relate to her. She's like, it's about me, not you. If she was just written like her other self in the previous films, I think that would have been better. And is it Venom that sucks? Or is it Topher Grace's Venom?
Topher Grace, because he's arrogant in the wrong way.
Yeah, his whole I'm dating your daughter line to Captain Stacy's kind of dumb.
I think
Yeah.
they should have just brought in Hank Azaria because number one, he was the right age for Eddie Brock. He's fit, and he also voiced a character on the animated series of Spider-Man.
Yeah. That would have been cool.
Yeah.
For that window of time though, if we're trying to get like a, because what version are you going for, Ultimate or Original 616? Like I would always go 616, big buff guy. Like today, you could get that guy. What is it, Alan Richman?
Yeah.
From like he'd be the perfect one if you're just going by like look. I don't know if he can act very well.
He's
But
pretty
Topher-
solid when he.
He's a decent actor.
Yeah, like I've got to interact with him a few times this summer, and yeah, he's dedicated to it, but he needs the right director to get that performance because he's so committed and he has a lot of doubts and he's also bipolar. He needs a lot of support in order to get the right performance out.
Oh, I did not know that about him.
Oh yeah, I mean, like he is always an incredibly gracious guy, but if he does feel like he's gonna, like that bipolarism is gonna trigger in, he says, "I'm sorry, guys, I gotta go," and then he just excuses himself because he doesn't want people to see him in that situation, which is way more professional than you get from other actors that are bipolar that just don't even care and just lash out or do that 180.
Well, I did not know that about him, but yeah, that is a good way to handle it.
Yeah.
But
he's a big guy.
Oh yeah, I think he's what 6'6".
No, he's 6'3", but he's just so muscular and bulky. He looks bigger than he actually is.
All right, that's my new goal: is to take a photo next to him. I'll be taller but less broad. That'll be weird for me. But Sly, Spider-Man 3 should get. I don't know if it should get like one of those reassessments where we're going to learn that it's a quality like masterpiece. But I also wouldn't mind if Sony was like, we're going to pump some money into this to re-edit it one more time, and then we're going to fix it and do more with that universe. I wouldn't be pissed, but it'll never happen.
I know there's still a nicely sizable movement to have a Spider-Man 4 with Toby and Kristen and, well, I don't think Franco's coming back because he's kind of disappeared. But, Toby and Kristen and J.K. Simmons coming back.
Yeah, bring back Dylan Baker as the... Yeah. And who else? I mean, Rosemary Harris is still alive, but I don't think she would want to act in Spider-Man.
No, I think you have to go over that hump where you've got Peter and MJ, Spider-Man balancing being Spider-Man and a family man.
Mm-hmm.
And don't kill him.
No, don't kill him.
And don't rip off his leg like he's going to become the old Peter Parker that has Mayday Parker. Like,
yeah, no.
Just, for God's sakes, Hollywood, here's where I'm going to get mad for a minute. When you're taking our heroes, just let us see them as the heroes. I don't want to see them old or downtrodden or beaten up or depressed or deconstructed. Just give us another go. Like, if you're going to take my $20 for a movie, I want to walk in and walk out happy. I want to go, yeah, they made John McClane look kick-ass, or, yeah, the Ghostbusters still got it. I don't give a shit how old they are. Like, this whole we got to make everything new and young and then make your favorite characters 5 minutes of the film and they suck. No.
Yeah.
No more. Let's see. Shrevel says, hey, Andrew, the bad man from 1945 Germany died.
What was that guy's name again?
Charles
Goebbels?
Chaplin, not the actor. Charles Goebbels, that's his name from now on.
Oh, goodness. Okay.
Chuck E. G. Enrique, thank you very much. He says, you guys are stranded on a deserted island, but there's a working TV and a DVD player. Oh, man, only DVD. Anyway, there's also 3 DVDs, Bridget Jones' Diary, Dark Fate, and The Marvels. I guess I'm going to watch Bridget Jones' Diary more.
Is off myself an option?
Man, I don't. That's probably Bridget Jones's Diary because at least it's funny, intentionally funny.
Joke's on you, Enrique. I'm going to watch the screensaver where the DVD video logo just bounces around the corners and try to guess the trajectory.
Yeah, it was like our own little version of Pong, right?
Yep. That's a better choice. But I mean, if you're stuck, I don't know if I would actually just watch movies on a desert island. I'd figure out something to do and make it fun, or I'd at least try to figure out how to get out of there.
I would probably make an elaborate home out of all the wooden materials out there, just a dream house. Speaking of desert island, there's that new Sam Raimi movie to tie it in also into Spider-Man called Send Help, which looks like Castaway meets Misery and Rich McAdams. The trailer looks pretty good. And it's a January film, which means that even if it's terrible, it's probably like terrible for all the right ways.
Is he directing it, or did he just produce it?
I think he's directing it.
Oh shit! There we go.
Yeah, he's directing it. Yeah, it's Damien
there.
Shannon and Mark Swift wrote the script.
That's a day one guy for me. There are some people that you give them infinite amount of chances because the work that they've done has been really important or really good, and then Sam Raimi's that guy for me. Like, more times than not, I like the work. Don't get me wrong, but I am willing to blindly be like, oh yeah, Sam Raimi's directing this one. Let's go see what he brings to the table. Because he's had some good shit, man. But he's also had some forgettable movies, too.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd say he's, for me, maybe 70% there. Which is a lot better than a lot of other actors. Or a lot of directors, excuse me. James Cameron.
Most have a pretty mixed track record. I mean, that's just par for the course, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think of a director that really has very few or no misses. Even Richard Donner, who's legendary on this channel, has a couple stinkers. So
yeah. Timeline was one. I remember hearing a lot of stories about how he was so frustrated directing that film. More so than Superman.
Was it just the people that he was working for didn't get it? Or?
Well, he was. I think Heath Ledger was also in that movie. He was yelling at him to act because he didn't believe that he was acting. Because I think Gerard Butler's also in that as well, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, like I think there's probably some leaked behind the scenes footage on YouTube of Donner screaming at his cast because they're not doing a good job. And he's not screaming at them like Christian Bale was screaming on Terminator Salvation. He's just like yelling at them like, I don't believe you. Do it again. Come on. Let's go, guys. Screaming at them that way. But yeah, like he's done a couple that have not been too hot. 16 Blocks was okay. But,
Whoever directed Garfield did a bad job. Like he was going to direct Garfield off the top of their head.
I can't remember who directed Garfield. I
Yeah,
will say
they
it was
made a
brilliant
Garfield
for them to
movie.
get Bill Murray to do the voice of Garfield because Lorenzo Music did the voice of Peter Venkman in the Ghostbusters cartoon. So,
I do love that parallel.
Yeah, that was
It's like
brilliant.
one of those trivia factoids that, like, to the right person, it blows their mind, and to a lot of people, they're just like, "Who is Lorenzo Music? What?"
Have you ever seen the show Rhoda? He's the guy that is on the intercom for the doorman.
They're like, "What's a Rhoda?"
Rhoda is
To be
a
fair,
spin-off
I've
of
never
Mary
even
Tyler
seen an
Moore show.
episode of Rhoda. Yeah, that 70s TV shows are usually no, they're not a gray area for me. I've watched a lot, just not a lot of. I've seen a lot of one-off episodes, but not a lot of like series consistently.
Mm-hmm. Well, those shows in those decades, they were designed to just be not to watch the entire thing. They were episodic specifically for that nature. You weren't going to catch every episode.
Here's an interesting question. What's a show, and this is for the audience, what's a show you've seen every episode of and wish you hadn't? Because you're just like, these aren't as good as I would have thought. Like, I'm glad I've watched every Dexter or every Twilight Zone, but there's a lot of It's Always Sunny I should have just skipped. So
That's one.
That's
Right.
Any of the CW Arrowverse shows.
That's I guess, yeah, but that's a lot more like balanced in terms of hits and misses. Like there's some good episodes, despite me having gripes with changes to establish continuity, general storytelling. There's still some good episodes. For me, I used to really, really enjoy Castle, and then I saw the finale, and I was like, oh, I wish I didn't see that. But for the most part, I guess I didn't watch enough TV religiously to have too many examples because I couldn't really complain about having seen All of Bones. I love that show. Yeah.
I didn't watch it.
It was fun. It was a fun show for me.
Also, Enrique said, which one are you watching the first and the most on the island? I think we answered. Bridget Jones is the one we'll watch the most and first.
Yeah, I'm not watching Marvels or Terminator Dark Fate at all.
If I'm going to rank
Couldn't
which
pay me
I'll
attention.
watch in order, I'll watch Bridget Jones, then I'd watch Dark Fate, and then I'd watch Bridget Jones another dozen times.
So just to wash Dark Fate out of your mouth.
It really is that dumb. The Marvels and Dark Fate.
I'm so glad I've seen neither.
Yeah, maybe you should. We need some shared trauma here on this show.
I'm okay. No, we both saw the sequel trilogy. We both watched Ahsoka. We both watched Book of Boba Fett. I think there's enough shared trauma here. We don't need to add to that.
Somebody recently asked me if I'm excited for more Ahsoka. And I was like,
Ironically or ironically was that question asked?
It was somebody in my personal life, and I wanted to say, you don't listen to my show, thankfully, because I can say shit that I don't have to worry about you hearing. Because I don't even talk about... Everybody that listens knows, I'm like, I don't talk trash about people in my personal life. I don't have any problem with that. But it's like, I also don't want you to know what I talk about. Like, I'm willing to talk about the 204,000 people that subscribe. I will talk to you guys about stuff before I would tell half my family. And it's nothing even like private. It just, I don't know. I guess because I can't see everybody, and I'm like, I'll tell you guys this or that.
Sure.
But yeah, we need some shared trauma, Andrew. Let's watch Perks of Being a Wallflower. I don't know.
That sounds incredibly homosexual. I'm okay.
The film or watching it?
Yes.
Okay. Well, we'll just leave that there. I just picked the first movie I would never watch. So yeah, it looks like we're all caught up. We've talked about the arrogance that's killing movies with the $600 million budgets. Do we have anything random to close out our show?
I don't. Not really. Oh, there's one quick thing that I saw was funny. There's this clip going around of Keira Knightley, who is voicing Professor Dolores Umbridge in the upcoming full cast audio editions of the Harry Potter book series for Audible, which I'm super excited for because I don't have enough versions of those books on Audible as it is, so I may as well get another. But this, I forget what. It was either Hollywood Reporter or one of those trades, right? And the journalist was asking her about her thoughts on like J.K. Rowling and all that stuff. And the look on her face just says everything you need to know. She's just like so disinterested. Like, why are you talking to me about this? Like, I took a job and I want to do the job. And she says something to the effect of, I think we're just kind of living in a time where everybody has just a wide range of opinions and we're all just trying to find a way to live together, right? And be respectful of each other. And then like that's it. And it's just
Didn't take the bait. Good for her.
The look on her face though, like she did not have a good poker face. Like it screamed, I am very annoyed that you are asking me about this right now. It was very
for the talking point to fucking die. It's like, I get
right?
it. She said something that some people have an issue with, but maybe people would look differently at the group of people if they would just stop bitching about the same complaint over and over. It's like, we get it. We get what was said. Change the fucking record. Because
Yeah.
I'm still buying the exact same amount of Harry Potter shit now that I was before she said it and after.
Which was 0 for you.
Yeah, and I don't really care. It's like, she said this thing. Okay, she said that thing. Whoop-de fucking do. Like, I've been at cons where people are like, oh, I used to like Harry Potter, but then J.K. said that stuff, and I'm just like, I wish people could see my face because I roll my eyes and go, I just don't fucking care. Like, you are, I am not an ally for any of this shit. Like, it's just, I hate Harry Potter movies. Sorry, like, I don't care what she said. But I hope that more people, like what Tarantino said, like, I shut down your reality or don't accept your thesis or whatever.
I reject your question.
Oh, yeah. I remember
more
that.
people to say that shit when you get these quote unquote intellectual interviewers that think they're so smart that are going to ask the hard hitting questions that are going to get out there and try to get to the root of society's problems, or to get an actor to say something stupid and get in the fucking zeitgeist with a soundbite. But like, I'm just excited for like that one specifically. Maybe collectively, everyone on this Harry Potter show is like, you know what, we're done talking about that shit. Fuck off. Like, I want John Lithgow to tell somebody to fuck off. That will make me watch Harry Potter day one.
I don't know.
You're
He's too
laughing,
nice
I'm
to
not.
say that, but it'd be funny if he did. It'd be brilliant.
I would love it.
The stuff
Hey,
that I've
hold on. He
seen
did
of him
Dexter.
in
He'll say
costume,
shit. Oh, I saw this today.
the stuff I've seen so far of him in costume, I was like, wow, I was given like Richard Harris Dumbledore vibes from the first couple of films. So I was like, wow, okay, like,
Are they converting you,
let's see
Andrew?
what you got. What do you mean?
Are you being converted? Are you excited for the Habo show now?
I mean, I'm still excited to see it overall because all but one of the decisions so far in terms of casting has been spot on. Unfortunately, that one decision is really freaking awful with what they did with Snape. And I'm hoping that everything else that they did is on point enough to where I can be like, yes, Clone Geek, I know Richard Harris died. That's why Michael Gambon became Dumbledore afterwards. And yes, I know he's dead too.
I
Richard
refrained from
Harris
bringing
died?
that up because I figured you would.
My God in heaven. Yeah, I'm just trying to brace myself for that bit because I disagree with that decision. I think it's an awful decision. Everything else, I'm really hoping that they hit all the proper book story points and all that. So I'm gonna take it as it comes and see what happens. Because again, it's like, with the sole exception of that one stupid casting choice, every single casting choice that they have announced, I've been like, yes, that's correct. That's perfect. And the one thing that's hard to not focus on is the Snape casting, because it's an awful casting decision. We've gone over it here on the show before. I don't need to retread old
Talent-wise,
Old
it's
parking
fine, but it's the appearance and the context that goes around that with the history of the characters and how it.
Yeah. It actually adds really bad narrative connotations and implications to the story. It's not just a simple race swap. It's a race swap that actually has really bad implications when you actually look at the character. So that is what it is.
Is that show gonna break any records? Do you guys think?
Yeah, first day records it'll have on HBO Max 100%. I don't know. I don't know the legs of it. That's the thing. I mean, Harry Potter fans, just like with any fandom, there are a portion that they will ingest anything Harry Potter, regardless of quality.
Yeah, if the quality is not there, and right off rip, they're not even counting the Snape casting. If like it doesn't have the proper characterization for the characters, if the story beats are missing, they're swapping around dialogue to different characters like they did in the movies. Which they gave a lot of Ron's lines from the books to Hermione in the movies. I'll call it out. I'll be like, what is this? Y'all sold me more book accurate. And I was willing to believe that, even with the stupid Snape casting. I was willing to take you at your word that at least everything else would be more book accurate. So, and if it's not, I'm not saying that it's not. I'm gonna call balls and strikes.
Just the way you said that. I'm gonna call balls. Strikes.
Oh, it's better
Harry
than seeing
Potter's
balls
fun.
and strokes.
That's true. Well, some people get that excited by Harry Potter, so. Not I. Nor Andrew. I'm not implying that you're into that sort of thing. Just don't read My Immortal.
No. Instead, go search for the fan videos of My Immortal, where they actually do it word for word. It is atrocious, poorly shot, deliberately so, making fun of My Immortal.
You fucking preps. Yeah, I've read that way too many times. I gave myself
Ebony
a headache
or Boney?
laughing
I don't
at
know.
it keeps switching. Inobi, Raven, Dementia, Darkness Way.
Mm-hmm.
She
What the
loves the
hell?
band My Chemical Romance.
Just go search search on YouTube for My Immortal fan.
Wait,
Series.
Andrew, you've never heard of My Immortal? Don't look it up and don't watch any videos. When we return on the 28th, I will read you a paragraph of it, and you will decide if it's the worst thing
God.
you've ever heard or if you want me to continue on.
After that paragraph and after that decision, I will show you a clip from the fan production that adapted it to live action.
Yeah, I hope you like long paragraphs explaining what the main character is wearing. And like, I think she gets gangbanged by the. I don't remember exactly how it goes down, but there's a lot of romance in quotations. That's all.
I was
romance.
that's is that what's qualifying these days? Okay.
Yeah.
It's YouTube. I'm trying to use a very friendly way to say it.
Okay.
Romance.
Right. Okay.
Draco
Take your word
Malfoy's a
for
big
it.
part of it. He has like a flying Corvette, and he like takes her back to his dorm room and shit. And the best part is, Andrew, nobody knows who wrote this story. Like no one's
taking
claims
credit
it.
for it.
Yeah.
No one's
They're
willing
like,
to
"Yeah."
accept responsibility. You did this. Own it.
It's something. Xavier to God asks, are you guys fans of Blow Me Away from Halo 2?
Yeah, from Breaking Benjamin.
I had to think about that. I think of the Mjolnir.
That's
Knight
on
as
my
a Halo
running
theme.
playlist to this day.
Sandstorm's on mine. I don't know that song off the top of my head, to be perfectly honest. I like Halo 2, but I guess I'll have to say no, Xavier to God, since I don't remember it. I can't call myself a fan. Script, anything else you'd like to add about it?
Yeah, I've never really gotten to the Halo series outside of reading some of the short stories and publications, like the video game itself. Not my thing. Can't remember "Blow Me Away" music, so sorry. Yeah, no, not a fan. Not a hater on it. Just hasn't broken through yet for me.
Shrobs08 asks, today was garbage day for me, and he requests the greatest button here on the channel. Well, I'll happily press you one of my personal favorites. Folks, if you knew me all these years ago, you wouldn't get rickrolled from me. That was way too long ago. But there was a lot of times when I would just want to send people random shit. And so Garbage Day is probably one of my favorite random things to send to people. And well, luckily you have it right here on the channel. As soon as I find the button, it will be Garbage Day here on WCBS. And for some reason, I don't remember where I put it. Give me a quick second. Is it? Oh, here it is. It's after Put a Chicken at Make Her Gay.
Garbage day! Huh? No!
And Andrew, breaking news during the button, Robbie Coltrane died, according to Enrique Vasquez. I'm sorry to break the news to you. I know he was in James Bond. It saddens me too. Valentin Dmitrovich Zukovsky. May he rest in peace. He died a hero. He
Y'all
also
are
died many years
incorrigible.
ago. Do you think Einstein's still alive? Because he's not.
Bob Einstein recently passed away. He was Super Dave.
R.I.P. Bob Einstein.
Yeah, brother to Albert Brooks.
I did not realize that.
Yeah. Well, Brooks went by Albert Brooks, chose Brooks because he didn't want to be known as Albert Einstein, the comedian.
But his parents had the sense of humor for naming him Albert, but whatever.
Yeah.
If I had a famous last name, I would name my kid whatever. I'm trying to think, like, if my name was Bieber, actually I would change my last name because that's.
I was gonna say I'm pretty sure I just changed my last name at that point.
Yeah. I can't think of it. Fine. If my name was Columbus, I would name my kid Christopher. So there.
I'd respect that.
After the director, right?
Because I think, did he direct Mrs. Doubtfire?
Chris Columbus did that, and I think he did the first Harry Potter.
Yeah, I did know he did Harry Potter. I love Mrs. Doubtfire. That is a great movie.
Yeah. Dude.
Oh, he did Home Alone 1 and 2?
Yes.
Gremlins? He didn't direct Gremlins. That's Joe
No,
Dante.
Dante Gremlins. Or yeah, Dante.
He did write the Goonies, or at least do something on the Goonies, for sure. So, Chris Columbus, there you go, folks. You've learned a little bit about film right here on the channel at 11:35 at night on a Tuesday, which means it might be time for us to go to bed. So is there anything else you guys would like to address before we put this baby to bed? We've covered everything we said and a whole lot more. So we also told the world that it's garbage day. I guess not. But I would like to give a shout out to Represent This. This was a nice comment. It says, loved you since the Last Jedi coverage with Ethan back in the day. World class, you guys were one of the reasons I made my channel a few years ago. Well, Represent This, I'm going to have to check out your channel. It's nice to know that our YouTube channel has inspired other people to go out there and make their own content. That's the thing I want people to take away from all of this is, you know, it's fun to make it. It's fun to talk about it. And you guys should check it out too. I highly recommend that if you've ever been on the fence about making YouTube content, if you've ever wanted to dip your toe into social media creation, just know what it entails. It's like yelling at a wall for a long time. And one day it will echo back. And then it'll echo back more and more and more, and you'll find your people. But, oh yeah, we've been asked this a couple times from a member. Script, what do you think of the Star Wars young adult romance novel that's coming out soon?
Oh, this is the first I've heard of it, and I already don't want it because Disney has not been picking the best authors for their book series as of late.
You're telling me the High Republic didn't change the world?
Nope.
I guess
Actually,
not. I mean, I know it's being used for, like, you know, campfire fuel because it's cheaper than logs.
It's at Ollie's right now, so you can definitely go burn it. They had a big coffee table book, and hell, I almost hurt myself trying to film that thing because I was like, oh man, I got to get this footage and then get out of the store, and it's not even worth it. Fuck the High Republic. But you know, if somebody wants to mail us a copy of the book to the P.O. Box, which will be open soon, or wants to send us a digital copy to info@worldclassbullshitters.com, we will try to read it. And if it's truly bad, we will read you clips on air and we will have a good laugh. But I don't think there's anything that Disney could put out that would get me interested. And there's only Hasbro that has me interested in a couple Han Solo figures. But other than that, Star Wars is just a relic of the past to me. Ooh. I love when I get emails about cool stuff. Thanks. So, guys, we're going to get out of here. I will have some videos for you guys this weekend. Not this weekend, excuse me. I'll have videos for you this week. And then this weekend, I will be out of town at Scarefest in Lexington, Kentucky. So you guys can expect some sort of live stream. I will be down there with Nick. We will be hanging out. We will be filming some content for the channel. It is Suit Saturday, as always. So
nice.
If you see us, we will be dressed to the nines in world-class gear. I have a new jacket. I have a new Halloween shirt. I'm ready to go. It's going to be a fun time. So, guys, be on the lookout for that. I've already begun my 2026 convention schedule. So catch me again in Lexington at the Lexington Comic and Toy Show this coming March. But it's not the only place you're going to see me because I have new books. Wokebusters. Gotta get Wokebusters out there even more so the Sham Wow guy can't try to steal it from me. What year is this? Anyway.
2025, apparently.
Yeah. But 2025 is also the year that Stealing Solo 2 is going to be available for you guys. I will have the sign up in just a few days. I wanted to get a few pieces done on the cover before I go to put that out there, because you can only make one first impression. And while this book, every page is world class, there's a specific few images that I want you guys to see first, so it'll set the tone for the book and everybody can get excited for it. Shout out to everybody that's dropping our links in the chat. Shout out to all of our new subscribers, and shout out to everybody who listens each and every week. You guys are world class. So unless there's something you guys want to say, you ready to go?
Yeah, I think it's a
I'm
good
ready.
show.
All right, so folks, thank you for watching. We'll be back next time with more. But in the meantime, be smart, be safe, be cool. But always be excellent to each other.
Okay, listen, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? I got freaks 9 days out of the week. I can give them... There's only 7 days in a week. Man, you ain't Big Pop.